Bam, we are Gucci. We are Gucci. Vance 2028. Yeah. I'm sorry. What has Vance been doing that makes him appealing right now? Has anyone heard anything from Vance other than his usual shenanigans? I don't know. Any cases, welcome in YouTube, welcome into the stream. Make sure you hit that like button and let's get this show on the road. Thank you guys for knocking out the 1 cent gift goal. I'm going to reset it to those things a couple of times to get us boosted out there. I don't know how to say your name. Hukamai? Humakai. Is that how you say your name? Hello, you're on the line. Okay. Not sure what that was about. Trump supporters will cross up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the YouTube side, you may call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Thank you guys for sending your daily heart me's. Make sure that you do that. Looks like we have our next guest. And let me know if we see the community gift, because I'm not seeing it. I couldn't pick it in the thing earlier today. Rube, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
And do you regret your vote?
No.
No. Why is that?
Because the biggest problem facing America was the debt, and Trump talked about it, and Miss Harris did not. So
the biggest problem facing America was our national debt?
Yep.
And Trump talked about it.
Yeah, he talked about the issue of the debt and talked about plans on trying to, fix it by reducing it, And Miss Harris didn't mention it at all.
What plans did Donald Trump put forward to reduce the national debt?
He talked about the government spending, Doge, and tariffs, increased revenue.
Okay. Interesting. So, Doge and tariffs. Donald Trump actually spoke on the national debt that allegedly, according to you, Kamala Harris didn't. And Donald Trump presented plans such as Doge and the national debt to correct said issue. Can you tell me, let's start with Doge. What exactly do you think Doge did for a national debt?
According to the government website, it saved $200 billion recurring.
Doge.com/savings, correct?
No, .gov. And it gives a breakdown in each individual program or job that was cut.
Interesting. Yes. Have you ever actually went to that website and looked up what was cut?
Yeah.
And what was cut? That was wasteful spending.
I haven't looked up the details of each one, but I've seen many.
Okay. So I'm here on the website, and let me go ahead and put it forward for everyone to see. Continue to tap the screen, guys, to get the likes up to 25K. Let's do that within the next couple of minutes. Show the algorithm that you want to be here. Let's look at Doge.com/savings, which is a website I frequented regularly when Doge actually had some relevance. Let me upload this move.
You go on the government website.
What?
The government website that describes the $200 billion savings recurring and the detailed itemized deduction.
I mean, you can mention that it's a government website, but it's currently not a government agency that's still in force. And then we can get into exactly what they did in a moment. So here we have Doge.com/savings. Yeah, sure.
.gov.
Whatever.
Government.
We have the website here. Again, no one cares. It's not a government agency anymore. So
yeah, but it's
what does that say there beside that 215 billion or above it?
What?
Estimated savings 215 billion, correct?
Yeah, pull it down. It says above. It says 200 billion.
What did I just say?
Yeah, what do you
215 billion, literally just said that. Combination of asset sales, contract lease cancellations and renegotiations, fraud and improper payment deletion, grant collections, interest savings, programmatic changes, regulatory savings, and workforce reductions. Okay. So this is the estimated savings based off all of these cancellations. Many of these cancellations were vital to our country, particularly when it comes to workforce reductions in, say, the deregulatory agencies that we've had via the environment, civil rights department, so on and so forth. Cutting our workforce isn't just an inherently good thing because we're going to be saving money. Those departments existed for a reason. Grant cancellations, we're aware of several of them, especially when it comes to things like HBCUs and other schools that they would deem as woke. Lawsuits that the government has weaponized against these institutions that still haven't been proven to be violating the law or civil rights. Interest savings, I really want to hear about that one. Renegotiations, this is something we've done periodically through either administration, and I would love for them to cite that, which the top few here don't show those renegotiations. HHS, GSA, SSA, OPM. Also, wait, hold on. Social Security? Cuts to Social Security. Bragging about this on this website is crazy, but I digress. Asset sales, contract lease cancellations. Many of these were for women's workforce, and then again, other institutions for minority serving departments. You're just looking at the number, and then the alleged fraud part is still never been verified. We know damn well that Doge also costs a lot of money. We know that Doge put Americans' personal information at risk with the things that were leaked, and the people that were employed by that also worked for foreign entities. So I don't see how you think just the sheer number of savings is a good thing alone.
And what do you suggest?
I suggest that we don't weaponize the richest man on the planet to come in and quote unquote save us money
No.
when he quite
Regarding the
literally
biggest
didn't.
problem facing America regarding debt, what do you suggest we do to navigate through that?
What I suggest we do to navigate that? Simple. We don't hire, or again, we don't elect a literal fraudster and a convicted
Okay, you
felon
were
for
elected.
said
What do you
fraud
do?
to the Oval Office and then have him hire
Okay,
the
that's
richest
fair.
man in the world to cancel a bunch of contracts so he can get more from the government. At least
Okay,
before
now
him and
what do you
Donald
do?
Trump fell out.
Okay, that's okay. Now what do you do? Trump is out, you're in. What do you do?
I'm sorry, I'm not the president.
Yeah, but you don't have an opinion on what you would do to address this issue?
I mean, there's several different things we can use to go about said issue.
Okay, then
Again,
give me
one
one.
of those issues would be not putting it forward the biggest tax breaks for the richest 1% in the country, and
So
then
you're
putting a different form of a tax via tariffs on American citizens who already can barely afford to keep their small businesses running, afford groceries, so on and so forth.
so raise taxes?
I mean, that is one aspect, sure. But
All
again,
right, so
we're here
how
talking
much
about Trump. We're here to talk about Trump and Trump's specific solutions that you said he put forward that Kamala Harris didn't. Doge did next to nothing. In fact, they weakened our soft power with USAID and many of those cuts. They quite literally made us look like a laughing stock on the world stage when we had Doge employees leaking our information to other entities that should have never had it in their power, locking out government officials from doing their job in several buildings, and then they just fell out because Donald Trump, Elon Musk said that he's in the Epstein files. So there's that. I don't know how you think this was a success.
Yeah, you're bringing up things that have nothing to do with the actual goal, and the goal is to address the debt. You address the debt by lowering government spending.
What he
So from
lowered
that
was
standpoint,
not
I
only
ask you,
was only not
I ask
substantial, but it wasn't in
200
departments
billion a
that were
year of
necessary.
recurring charge.
You know,
If
one
you
of the
times
biggest ways
200
that we can
times
address the
10
national
years,
debt.
you see, I let you finish, but every time I talk, you cut
Sure,
me
you
off.
can finish.
Okay, so if you take that recurring $200 billion in the course of 10 years, that's going to
Estimated.
account for, yeah, 2 trillion. And it's not 200 billion?
It's estimated. So no,
Yeah,
not
according
exactly.
to the government website, that's what's the estimate.
According to the government
Estimations.
website that was run by Elon Musk, who is no longer serving in said
Still
government.
reported by the government on the estimated
I don't know why you
savings
think
yearly.
it being a government website alone is supposed to be some type of well-standing proof, considering that our government websites have literally been weaponized by Donald Trump to put out propaganda and lies. DHS specifically.
Every platform puts out information that could be labeled as
It's not
propaganda.
about could be,
Now,
it's what can
now,
be proven.
now, once again, the goal was to reduce government spending. That's what this program did. Now, I ask you,
Can you tell
according
me?
to our
Can you tell
budget,
me what Donald Trump has
according,
put forward? All the different things he's put forward, such as additional DHS spending,
cutting me
specifically
off.
money for ICE, the money that we've used to bail out farmers because we literally screwed them over with tariffs and other factors. Can you tell me how much that equates to? Because I can say ICE alone in the estimated, what was it, 215 billion? ICE got 160. So that's already a
That's
majority
how
of
much
what
it
we
costs,
allegedly
116.
saves. that went straight to ICE, who are now killing
See,
American citizens, violating due process, and then we're going to spend a
now,
good bit of that money back into lawsuits that people are winning
just keep
because,
going.
you know,
Okay, so you're saying that ICE cost 116 billion a year?
I'm saying that's what was in the big beautiful bill.
That it was a total of 116 billion in 1 year or spread out?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if it was 1 year or spread out. Let's double check that.
Yeah, it's most likely spread out. So it's not
Sure. I
116
mean,
a
let's
year. And
let's let's not
even
let's
if I
not
grant
speak
you
on what it is if you don't
even
know.
if I grant you the year, it's still a savings of 100 billion. Not to even factor in tariffs that is generating expected to generate like 2 to 3 trillion in the course of 10 years.
That's funny.
What is it
Yeah,
on pace to
beautiful
do right now?
bill,
What are
spend,
tariffs on pace to do
um,
today? What have we done?
spend, or not
We're
spend,
at like 200
allocate
billion
it
generated from
to
tariffs.
ICE.
Not to mention the impact it has on GDP.
Oh yes, so the first package initially in the big beautiful bill was 75 million, which nearly tripled their annual budget. I'm trying to figure out what the other aspect was here.
75 billion for the year?
Yeah, that was the initial package, correct.
Okay.
Again, what was that number that you put forward in tariffs?
Oh, it's 200 billion for
That's
the year.
for the year. And where's that money going?
Um, I'm not too happy with Trump doing a dividends check for the tariffs. I would rather him focus on eliminating the debt, but it seems like we're at the pace where we're
I'm
trying to
sorry.
get
Did your
GDP to
was not
outgrow.
the first thing you mentioned the fact that it's going
Oh my
towards the debt
goodness,
and
bro.
addressing the national debt, and then you
Oh my
just said that you're not happy that it's not going towards the debt? Because I find it funny how much you guys compliment him for this additional revenue, and then it's not going towards not the betterment of American citizens or reducing the national debt. So
Dude, I'm not absolute. I don't hate Trump. I don't love Trump. I don't hate Democrats. I don't love it. All I do is focus on what's being done and how effective it is.
and
Now,
according to
regarding
you,
my,
what's
you
being
see, look,
done
I can never
is he's
finish
failing.
a statement. You
I'm
cut
just
me off
adding on to
every
what you're
single
saying. You can
moment.
finish it.
Once again, when I was looking to pick either A or B, where it was Harris or Trump, I understood that the debt is our biggest problem because it is going to reduce the purchasing power of the dollar. And I know, knowing this, that it could possibly lead to hyperinflation in the course of 5 to 10 years, being the fact that we're accruing interest. I know that this is huge. And the fact that I saw Trump on a podcast talk about this with two separate guests for like 2 to 3 hours with no issues, and was able to address it and understand what the problem is and how it is a problem, versus Harris, who was on a podcast called All the Smoke and didn't talk about anything. And then every time I tried to look up any possible idea she has regarding debt or and all the problems,
God
she
bless
didn't
you.
give anything.
Nothing.
So
Thank
if
you,
you have
Taro,
a
for the
if
money
you
gun. I
have a
appreciate you.
solution, if you have a solution that Harris brought up to the debt issue, please let me know what her solution was.
Sure.
Because that's why I voted for Trump.
Sure. No problem. No problem. I just want to start off. By saying the national debt was the reason why you voted for him, and the proposed ways to address it would be tariffs. And what was the second thing you mentioned?
Reducing government spending.
Reducing government spending. The reduction of the government spending was essential to many departments that keep everything running. And then the tariff revenue, as we've seen, is not going towards said debt. You admittedly said that, not me. So I just want to point that out. That sounds like the things you voted for him to do, he would be failing on. Not to mention, if we're going to have the conversation about national debt, you probably shouldn't have voted for the guy who literally did the majority of that. $8.4 billion in his first term. That was more than several presidents have put forward in 2 terms. So there's that. Yes, a large portion of it was COVID spending, but the majority of his was not related to COVID spending, which is embarrassing. But you said that you watched one podcast with Kamala Harris, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And like I said, also
Are you aware of
looked
her
into
policy platform, 82-page document, A New Way Forward for the Middle Class?
no.
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 You,
What's the plan?
oh wow. Okay. Um. All right.
What was her plan?
So, are you aware of the Biden proposed and Kamala Harris sponsored tax plan that they put forward that matched many aspects of Donald Trump's in regards to no tax on tips, so on and so forth?
Okay, so what was her plan
If the
to
answer is
address
no,
the
you can
debt?
just say no.
No, again, my
Okay.
claim, like you reiterated, was I want to focus on the debt, and I want you to tell me what her plan was according to the debt. What was her plan against the debt?
Got you. One of Kamala Harris's plans to address fiscal responsibility and in some cases to offset national debt would have been an increased tax on the corporations. As I mentioned earlier, that is something that she specifically
Okay,
talked about, is getting more tax revenue from the 1% by raising the corporate tax rate up a little
okay,
bit. There's also the unrealized capital gains tax, and the rest of it was essentially more so focusing on the middle class and middle class investments for businesses. So that would be the
okay,
gist of it. And then
okay. So let's
it still would
focus
have
on the
cost
corporate tax.
less, specifically in regards to Donald Trump's tax cuts. It would have cost less than what he
Okay,
put
so let's
forward.
focus on the corporate tax. So Trump actually in his first term cut the corporate tax from 38 to like 20 something. And with him doing that, you would
35,
think, yeah, 35 to 20 something. So you would think
21%.
21%. Yeah. So you would think that that would decrease tax revenue, but it actually didn't. It actually increased tax revenue. The following years after, we saw
Of course, it
that like
increased tax revenue.
say it again.
Of course, it increased tax revenue. Who's arguing against it increasing tax revenue?
You don't understand the fact that by cutting the tax that should lower tax revenue.
What?
If you cut that corporate tax from 35 to 21, it is expected for you to take in less taxes in revenue.
No,
You can't come to that. You don't.
no.
Wow.
Some people have made those
You,
estimations, but we know based off of some of those tax cuts that corporate welfare, when I mean corporate welfare, I mean the well being of corporations and the money that they received spiked. And then that by default, they would pay more taxes because they'd be making more money to pay taxes on. We're more so talking about percentage rates. That
okay.
would be the issue. Thank you
Okay,
to
that's
the
fine. All
Mighty
right, so
Pen, the
fine. You
one
just
Mighty Pen
justified.
for
Hold on.
50 medals. Thank you
You
so much
just
for the medals over on the tube side. I appreciate you. W's in the chat to Phil for the $2 Venmo. Roughly 10 billion in ICE's base budget per year and 78 billion in a slush fund that's available for 7-ish years. That is correct. I did double check that a
all
little
right.
bit earlier. W's in the chat to you, Phil. W's in the chat to you. Guys, best way to support the platform is checking out the links in the bio.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So
There's
you
another
just
one.
addressed the
W's in
fact
the
that
chat to Phil for the $2 Venmo. Again, Doge didn't save money. They mostly just performed contract closeout earlier because they weren't smart. It cost more to perform the actions they did than what they saved, and they hurt American business, which lowered GDP and taxable income. Phil, I do not have the specific number on what it costs in general for Doge to enact what they were enacting, but that is a good point that you made up because if I'm not mistaken, they cost a shit ton of money to have them do what they did, and estimated savings did not justify it. But W's in the chat to you, Phil. W's in the chat to you. Go ahead.
so yeah, you literally just said that it doesn't raise tax revenue. So raising the corporate tax would not raise tax revenue.
When did I say that I guess the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, his first tax plan, would not raise tax revenue?
You said that it's not expected to lower corporate tax, that lowering the corporate
How
tax
much they pay,
would reduce
correct.
tax revenue. It's not
Lower how
expected.
much they pay. That's what I said. Because they would be making more to pay more taxes on, even if the
So
corporate
by
tax rate was
taking the
dramatically reduced.
so by taking that 21 that he cut from in 2016 to back to 30 to 35, that would not increase tax revenue. So it would not help
Well, it
regarding
would
adjusting
increase
the
tax
debt.
revenue alongside the corporate
Oh my
loopholes
goodness,
that
bro.
the corporate
Holy
loopholes
moly.
that this plan would have intended to close on top of things, say in 2022. I'm trying to remember which plan it was where those additional IRS agents would have then been hired and were hired to get more tax revenue from people who were skipping certain loopholes. And then the proposed 2024 tax plan by Biden and sponsored by Harris, that would have been an unrealized capital gain tax, which would have taxed specifically 10 to 12,000 individuals who make 100 million or more.
So just to go back to the first argument regarding corporate tax, that yeah, if Harris was to raise that 21% and brought it back up to 35, that it would increase tax revenue, like it, right? That's what you're stating.
Yes.
And then earlier you said that by cutting it by 35 to 21 does not decrease tax revenue.
Because the cut in loan that you're talking about would not have reduced the revenue based off of record-breaking profits that these companies got. Does that make sense?
That's crazy.
You do understand the more that they would make, the more they would have to pay, even if we change the percentage.
So why would Harris
the argument against
raise
increasing the corporate tax rate would still be the fact that they should pay more, and then it will be coupled with the loopholes that these corporations could take.
So now, okay,
Or
so
benefit
now
from.
there's a coupling of the loopholes. Is that
Well, no,
specified
that's
in the
always
plan?
been a part of it.
Okay, well,
Biden
you
and
do
Harris
know
have
that when
always
Joe
talked
Biden
strongly about those loopholes that you're referencing.
Now, you know, when Joe Biden was in office, they actually introduced this plan, this unrealized capital gains tax, and what was like 15% on the top 1%. Do you remember that?
I'm aware of it. Are you?
Yeah, and it got denied, even though the House was majority Democrats. That's crazy, right? Because it's almost like if you were to
majority
tax,
Democrat by a slim margin, with many of those people being
okay, all right, fair, whatever, that's fair
Republican-leaning.
still.
God bless you.
Let's
Thank you,
think about
Cherry.
the possibilities
God
of
bless you.
taxing.
America. Thank you, Erica.
Imagine taxing someone who's a billionaire, right? You're taxing, he makes 100 million a year, and you tax him what? An unrealized capital gains tax, right? Where he has 16 billion in net worth. You tax him 15%. That means he has to pay $150 million of assets he hasn't sold yearly. Why would he stay in this country?
What?
God bless you.
Why would a billionaire with $1 billion
W's in the
assets
chat to Shauna
getting
Hurley
hit
on
with
the
an
kitten. Big W's to
actually
you.
doing
Big W's to you. Thank you so much. Guys, if you click on my name in the top left corner, you're going to see the B3, B4 gift gallery when you scroll down. And please feel free to knock out all of the grayed out gifts in the gift gallery. It's very important that you support your favorite creators. That way, TikTok loves it. They bless the algorithm gods or whatever. They bless me. The algorithm gods bless me when you do that shit. If you would like to knock out anything in the gift gallery, please feel free to do so. If it is the DJ glasses, you have to do all 5. Everything else can be split. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
If you tax a billionaire with assets of $1 billion, 15% yearly, that means he has to come up with $150 million yearly.
The
Why
unrealized
would he
capital
stay-
gains tax wouldn't have applied to the billion that you're referencing, or at least that wouldn't have been the starting point. The starting point was 100 million or more per year in unrealized capital gains, and
Unrealized
that would
capital
be
gains
if
tax
you had
is based on assets.
85% of it, 75 to 85% of it was in a particular amount of assets. There were thresholds of it. No, 25%. There were thresholds. So it's not just the 100 million.
If a person has $1 billion in assets and he gets taxed unrealized
God bless
capital
you.
gains because he never sold it,
God bless you.
15% on that billion would be 150
God bless
million
you.
yearly.
And
His net worth
God bless you.
will go down yearly.
I'm sorry,
Why
will
would he
his
stay in
revenue
America?
go down significantly?
No, his net worth would go down dramatically
15
yearly.
million of his, you said 150? 150 million of his network would go down yearly. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Why would that billionaire stay in America? Why would they not
easy,
leave?
because that billionaire would not be able to do what they did in other countries here. This is a capitalist country where
this
they
is the
make
dumbest guy in
buku
the
amounts
world,
of
bro.
money.
Holy moly. You
These
can't even be
billionaires, so
honest.
same billionaire stayed here when the corporate tax rate was 35%.
Holy
I don't know why you guys keep thinking that raising taxes
You
on
said
many of these
unrealized
individuals
capital gains
would
tax.
jack-
That means every asset you have is taxed.
No, it's not every asset, my guy.
Yes, that means if I haven't sold my house, I'm going to be taxed on that house.
Can you tell
by
me
net
what
worth.
the assets would be considered under the unrealized capital gains tax?
Stocks, homes, assets.
Which would still have to meet other thresholds in that tax plan that you'd be referencing specifically, right?
The one that got denied by majority House Democrats.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know
And
what
in
that was
reference, you
about.
said
I'm
100
referencing the
million.
one that was put forward in 2024 was co-sponsored by Harris.
Yeah, and that one that was referenced
And
in
do you
Joe
know
Biden's
the
term
intricate
was also
details of
backed
that
by
one?
Harris. That was also backed
Do
by
you know
Harris.
the
And
specifics of that one?
it was denied for a reason.
It wasn't denied. She lost.
No, the bill that was introduced for that 50% unrealized capital gains tax.
There's no 50%.
15% unrealized capital gains
The
tax. was
15%
introduced in a bill.
unrealized capital gains tax would be what you're talking about in what, 2021, 2022? I'm going to say this again. I need you to listen closely to the words coming out of my mouth. To rival the big, beautiful bill tax plan, Biden put forward one that Kamala Harris co-sponsored. We are unclear on if she would have made up her own or made more adjustments, but the one that was put forward, that was Kamala sponsored, had the unrealized capital gains tax with other thresholds that would be separate from what you're talking about. You don't seem to know about that one, so stop conflating it with the additional one or the previous one.
What's the threshold?
The threshold was unrealized capital gains tax on people who made $100 million or more. If you didn't have, if 25% of your shit. Hold on, let me double check this.
Unrealized capital gains is based on your assets, not your earnings.
Duh.
It means if I sit on a home that's worth $200 million, I have to pay 15% on that, or whatever percentage they were introducing yearly.
Bam, 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 bam. Been a while since I've went over this one, guys, so I just want to make sure that we are accurate. Here we go. Taxpayers with a net wealth over $100 million would be required to pay a minimum effective tax rate of 25% on an expanded measure of income that includes their unrealized capital gains. Taxpayers would calculate their effective tax rate for the minimum tax, and if it fell below 25%, would owe additional taxes to bring their effective tax rate to 25%. There. And this, if I'm not mistaken, let me check the other part. It was 75 to 80% of your assets had to be in those brackets that we're talking about. Let me find that part. Tax weights.
So it's not 15%, it's 25.
Yeah, I never said 50%. You did. The change means wealthy taxpayers would owe taxes on capital gains each year, even if the underlying asset has not been sold. Any amounts paid would be treated as prepayment of future capital gains tax liability. For example, consider a taxpayer with a net wealth of $200 million, $5 million in ordinary income, $10 million in accumulated unrealized capital gains from a privately held company, and an ordinary tax liability of $1.8 million. When including unrealized capital gains as income, the household's effective tax rate is 12% below the proposed 25% minimum. To increase their effective tax rate to 25%, the household would owe an additional $1.5 million in tax, resulting in a combined $3.75 million in taxes owed on $15 million of income when including unrealized capital gains. The $1.95 million could be paid in equal installments over 9 years and would be credited against future capital gains tax liability on the asset when sold. So what exactly is the issue with that?
12% on the house.
And?
12% on the house yearly. That means I have to sell something. I have to take a loan out just to pay that.
No.
I don't want to sell my house.
You don't have to sell your house. You can just pay
my
the tax.
$200 million house, I'm getting 12% on that. That's what, $24 million?
What do property taxes on average represent in the United States?
I am not making $24 million yearly. I'm making, like you said, 5 to 10. Where am I going to come up with $24 million?
I feel like you're not doing the math on this correctly at all.
12% on a $200 million home.
And what would that 12% be?
24 million.
And then what would you be paying on that in your other sources of income? Like you're saying that they're not making anything on the home, so they have to sell the home. We'd be completely ignoring the revenue that they'd be making in other aspects that they would pay on said tax.
They're making 5 to 10 million.
Also, if you have a $200 million home and you're crying about $24 million in taxes.
Now, this is the problem, America. This guy, what he just said, you're complaining about taxes.
You're benefiting here in the United States, making record-breaking revenue, money that you can't make anywhere else, and you're complaining about that tax. That's insane.
Because they're going to leave.
No.
There goes the GDP.
No, in the slightest.
There goes the
what
GDP.
Evidence do you have to support the claim that they would leave? Because we can look at places such as logic.
Ladies and gentlemen,
your theory.
if you have this much
so
money,
we can look at places like New York City,
why would you stay?
where Zohran Mamdani has effectively raised taxes, increased a good portion, particularly on the 1% that you'd be referencing. Despite that, there were still entire campaigns of millionaires. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. I watched a post on it recently. Millionaires for Zohran, millionaires for Mamdani. Did you guys see that shit? People who voted for him because they were okay with the increased tax versus Cuomo's policies.
On earnings. Not unrealized capital gains.
Do you know who Linda Khan is?
Yo, it's like crazy.
Do you know who Linda Khan is? Have you seen what she's put forward on those other capital gains that we're talking about?
Brother, I promise you, any person who's getting hit on something they haven't
I
sold
promise you.
is
So I
going
don't need
to
your
look
promises
at
or
other
theory. I
options.
need substantial evidence to support your claim.
Yeah, I guess the only
Because
evidence
you're
I have
arguing
is
uber
some
rich people are
logic.
going to cry about paying more on their unrealized capital
Yes,
gains
they're gonna
and
cry
go to
about
other
paying double
countries where
their
they may not
earnings
have the
yearly.
same opportunities as they would here.
I make 10 million a year, but I have to pay 24 a year in taxes on my house that I didn't sell.
I don't think you understand what you're saying and how that works, but it's fine. W's in the chat to Phil for the
Unrealized
$2
capital
Venmo.
gains.
Assets were stocks, bonds, or privately held companies, not on houses, boats, or other assets. That is correct. There was more specifics, and I'm trying to find that exact article now. I appreciate you, Phil. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to you. So, do you often get off and like sucking off billionaires or what?
Now, this is the pivot. It's not
No,
about
it's not a
me-
pivot. We're literally talking
it's-
about the same issue.
It's not about me being favoring the billionaires. It's about me focusing on the health of the United States of America.
The health of the United
And
States of
unfortunately,
America.
billionaires
Can you tell
help
me how these
the health.
billionaires focus on the health of the United States of America?
Unfortunately, the billionaires have a huge impact on the health of the United States of America because they create jobs, they
The
give out
GDP
loans.
that you be referencing, yes, and some
Yes.
jobs, minimum wage jobs, yes, we know.
Yeah, but it's a job.
But it's a job. A job where the average household needs to make at least, was it minimum, and this may have increased to be clear, the last I checked was 2022, $50,000 to survive, but our minimum wage doesn't even support that.
You know it's crazy, right? Like, you know, the average income in America is like 33,000. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
terrible, right?
Yeah.
That puts you in the top 2% in the world.
What?
Making close like $30,000 to $37,000 a year puts you in the top 2% in the world of earners.
Can't fact check that, but let's say you're correct. Making
please,
the
do
minimum
it,
wage here in
fact
the
check.
United States, where you can barely do shit about fuck with it, particularly in more developed regions, unless you're in like bumfuck Kentucky or Tennessee in the red counties, that puts you in the top 2% in the world. And then increasing
Yes.
corporate tax revenue or putting an unrealized capital gains tax on there to where the minimum wage would still be $7.25 an hour, to
No,
where they're
now
making
you're saying
billions of
something
dollars and only paying you
Has nothing to
20,
do with
30K
my
a year, is going to make them run to these other countries that should be looking to us as some type of like shining star because the minimum wage only pays you that shitty amount. Really?
I have no idea what argument you're making.
You're making an argument that we're doing so well off here in the United States making minimum wage because worldwide we're in the top 2%. But then that means fuck all here in the United States. And in that top 2% that we'd be at, you have an issue with these companies making infinitely more than what they pay the average worker. And the federal law only says you have to pay them this much. And you don't think we should tax them anymore.
It's not about taxing them more.
It quite literally is, because you just complained about that.
No, I did not. Actually, what I'm open to, I am open to taxing them more. I'm open to making something work. This unrealized capital gains
If you're
tax
open to
is
taxing
not
them
something
more,
that would
you
work
shouldn't have voted for
because
Donald Trump.
It would incentivize those rich people who create jobs.
If you're open to
leave.
taxing them more, you shouldn't
So
have
what
voted
I
for Donald
suggest is that
Trump.
we incentivize them to create more jobs.
We
by giving them tax
incentivize
breaks.
them to increase. We've always had tax breaks, my guy. In fact, specifically, the last one I can think of is
And give more.
Obama. Did you guys know that Obama proposed lowering the corporate tax rate from 35%? I think it was 24 to 28%. He put
proposed,
forward.
but he didn't do it.
It was turned down.
Just like how you
It
did
was
that
literally
500
turned down.
tax
Donald Trump,
penalty on
the
having
president
health
can't vote on a
insurance.
bill. So the one that was proposed under the Obama administration put caveats in it. If you wanted it the 24 to 28% corporate tax rate, you then had to have certain prerequisites for improving employees' lives, giving them the right amount of benefits, so on and so forth. That's what I think is a great thing. I think if we're going to give companies tax breaks, and not just because they're the corporations that hire people and then want to fuck them over whenever they can, it's because they're actually benefiting the employees under them. That's why they should get tax breaks. That's why I supported things like Kamala Harris's and tax incentives for affordable homeowners, home contractors that would have built 3 million homes by the end of her first term. I don't believe it was going to be at the end of the first term. It would have been more than that.
How?
Building
How would they build
affordable
that
homes and
homes?
then giving them incentives with green technology to reduce the cost of energy in these homes as well. I thought that was a great idea.
How would their plan work? Explain this plan again.
Explain what?
What plan? How would she would take government funding? How much would she invest? Who would she invest into? Was it be private
Government
companies?
funding. What? What are you talking?
Government funding to
I
what?
just said
Contract?
tax breaks. What are you talking about government funding with?
So tax breaks to
Is
corporations.
tax breaks government funding?
No. I'm asking you what you're referencing as far as increasing production in homes in America.
Yes.
How would she have done that?
Again, tax incentives, particularly breaks for affordable contractors to build new homes that were green energy. So we get additional breaks just for the green energy initiatives, which Donald Trump kind of, wiped away a few of those. And then that would have been alongside opening up federal law and then working with getting more property built. 3 million new homes was the estimate by the end of her first term. I don't believe it's going to happen in the first term, but that would have effectively brought down the cost of homes on the market by adding more to it. And then the companies, the contractors would have got a break as well. That would have been a good incentive to help Americans.
So she would have said, okay, we're going to give you a $300,000 tax break if you build
I don't know what it would have been
homes.
specifically.
I would like to know that.
Sure.
But
maybe you would have gotten more information if you actually read her document instead of looked to one podcast for her plan on reducing the national debt.
Wouldn't a podcast be a perfect opportunity to display her plan to America?
No.
Exactly. Fucking, I can't
It
stand
literally wouldn't have. Your
It
idea
really-
that
yeah.
the average American,
Talking on a
your
podcast
idea
with
that the
someone.
average American listening to podcasts or go to
Trump
podcasts
did
for
it.
the intricate no, he literally didn't. He literally
He
did.
went on an
Can you
all-in
tell me
podcast.
what podcast he went on where he broke down a
All-in.
fantastic, effective policy that wasn't challenged by some of the top economists in this country,
All-in podcast.
Republican or Democrat?
Yes.
That would have.
Yes.
Okay, give me the numbers. Tell me what he said.
Yeah,
what do you say the podcast was?
It's called the All-In Podcast.
The All In
This
podcast.
is a-
Can you
this
tell
is a
me
pod-
what he said on the All In podcast? Because I remember him saying things like tariffs. These companies are screwing us over. We're in trade deficits because Donald Trump doesn't understand what a trade deficit is or how in many cases is a benefit to us. 100%, 200%, 300%, 1000%. Yeah, that's the nonsense he said on tariffs. If you have a
guys-
specific plan, a better plan that you put forward on a platform, by all means, you may present it here.
All right, so guys, this is a podcast anyone could look up. Trump went on the All In podcast. This podcast is for four venture capitalists. One is a Democrat, another one's a Republican, and the other two are.
I don't
people
care
who are
about the
in
breakdown
middle.
of the hosts. I
Now,
want you to know
when
what
you
he
watch
said.
it, there's a Democrat who pushes hard on Trump on all these issues. Yeah, I watched it a long time ago. I can't recite exactly what was said, but you could watch it. And the All In podcast made note that they invited Miss Harris in multiple times and got nothing. So I don't know why Harris would
I don't know why you're
refrain
talking about
from
Harris
going
when
on
you
the
specifically
All In podcast.
mentioned
That's
no. You
All In
mentioned the
podcast was
All In
like a top three
podcast
podcast.
and Donald Trump's solution or plan to reduce the national debt. And he gave specifics allegedly on this podcast. We're not talking about Harris, my guy. I want to
Okay.
know what plan he laid out on this podcast that you thought was so good and successful compared to what
No.
Kamala Harris allegedly didn't say.
It's not about even if it's good or bad. It's the fact that he addressed it and Miss Harris did not.
Okay, so he addressed it. So it's not about the materials or the substance of a plan, but the fact that he just talked about it.
Okay, so let me do this one more time, right? I have two options. I have this problem. This one person.
Do you
is talking
understand what
about
a
the problem.
ridiculous
You see, you keep
argument
cutting me
this
off.
is? This is
You
a
keep cutting me off.
ridiculous argument,
You
my
see,
guy.
yeah,
I just
know,
like that
I know,
Trump talked
I know.
about it. As if
There it
politicians
is.
don't lie or address things
There
just
it
for
is. Let
votes,
me know when I
but they
can
don't
say it.
actually have plans to deal with the issues that they're referencing.
That's fair. You can make that assessment, but again, I'm gonna.
You haven't
reiterate.
even substantiated your assessment that he
hold
presented
on,
an
let me
actual
reiterate.
viable plan.
Okay, so once again, I'll make the statement. I was in a position where I saw this huge problem. I have two candidates. One is saying, hey, this is a problem. We got to do this. We got to do this. And this other person has not even referenced it. Okay? I'm going to go with the person who's addressing the biggest problem that I have. And I told you before
Great time.
that
I
the
love
way
that.
he addressed
Regulation
it, that
versus
he
the
talked
taxes.
about
I don't
was
think I've ever
tariffs.
had anybody say, and the taxes were a massive cut, from 37, 38%, if you look at it just there, to 21%. I don't think I ever had
Let's
anybody
speed this
say
up. We're
that
gonna watch
the
it
taxes
for a
were more
little bit
important than
and
the
see the
regulation
great
cuts.
plan that
I
you
made
put
it possible
forward.
to build. I made it possible to do things, to invest. I was able to get companies with a lot of money outside of the USA to bring that money back in. We cut the rate, and it was crazy. The rate was like 55%, so that means if they bring the money back, they lose half their money before they even start. But it was also impossible from a standpoint, a structural standpoint, a legal standpoint. It was very hard. And they were able to bring back, Apple's an example. They brought hundreds of billions of dollars back from other countries into the United States and invested it here. So, but it's very interesting because I ask the question all the time, which was more important? And almost everybody said I did an even better job. And I got the biggest tax cuts. The biggest tax cuts, bigger than the Reagan tax cuts, but they found regulations, and the regulation cuts were even more effective. And that's where we had the great economy, and that's where we had the most jobs ever produced.
So there's this odd thing that happens in certain states where taxes keep going up, and then you start to see the states break, right? Productivity breaks, crime goes up, and quality of life goes down. But then people don't understand that taxation and all of those things are correlated. Do you have an idea of why that is? Like, why don't people understand universally that lower taxation is better for productivity?
Well, they don't understand it, and it's such an interesting question because you look at some of these places like Chicago and New York and LA and so many more. You know, I'd hate to even mention the three because there are worse examples than that. You look at what's happened in Oakland, and you look at what's happened into some cities that are disappearing. I mean, they're literally just crime waves. Nobody lives there except for criminals
We're
because
in the first
you can't
segment,
live there.
which
You
up
can't survive there.
to
Physically, you can't
12
survive
minutes
there.
is
And when you look at
economy,
the kind of crime
regulation,
that we're talking
taxes,
about, and then they
tariffs,
take the
caving
power away from the
inflation,
police. The police can't do anything. If they do anything to stop it,
The
they end up
second
losing their pension, their
category,
house, their family. They
12
end up losing
minutes,
everything. They
federal
get put
debt.
in jail.
Maybe it's that part. Let's see.
One of the things we've talked about President Trump on this podcast a lot is the deficit. Under your administration, we added close to $8 trillion. Under Biden, it's going to be paradoxically about the same number. Seems incredibly unpopular in Washington to cut costs, but that's something we're going to need to do. What's your plan? And it looks like you're going to win a second term here. What's your plan in your second term to control spending? Can you get it under control? Is there the will in Washington to allow you to do that?
Well, the biggest thing I think is growth, because we can grow our way out. As an example, we have more liquid gold under our feet. I use the term. We have more oil. We have more wells. We have more everything than anybody else. When I started, we were number 3. Now we're number 1. We were number 1. He's going to keep it that way until after the election. If they ever won the election, there's no
We
more oil
can
coming
grow
out. There's no
our
more
way
oil. They will win
out.
that. Oil is what caused the inflation.
Let's pause for a second. Let's pause for a second before we carry on. We can grow our way out. Ladies and gentlemen, last I checked, and this is something that's thrown in my face on a daily basis, we grew so much under his first term, right? You guys remember those record growth, unemployment, corporate tax revenue, this and that? We did a whole lot of growing. Did that stop this man from adding $8 trillion fucking dollars to the national debt? 8.4 specifically.
Yes,
and we saw many aspects of
that.
GDP even be
brought
stalled
this up
when it
earlier.
comes to tariffs, when it comes to manufacturing jobs specifically, so on and so forth. But sure, cool, we can grow our way out, right? We can grow our way out.
Yeah.
Let's see what else he put forward.
Inflation.
That
You'd
is
have nothing coming
literally-
out. It would be a disaster. So they were intelligent enough to let the oil wells continue to go. They're not happy about it. But if this election were won by them, I can tell you right now, we would see oil go through the roof because they would really close it up. Already they're taking out of the strategic reserves just for politics because they want to try and keep the prices down as low as possible.
Donald Trump, I love it when he says this bullshit here. Donald Trump, fun fact, the TPR or SPR specifically was Strategic Oil Reserve that I'm referencing. Donald Trump took money out of that. Took money out of it. The reserves sold oil in our reserves in part to fund the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I just want to remind everyone, that's what he did. When Biden did it, it was to lower gas prices, right? Where we sold it, bought it back at much cheaper prices to bring down the average cost for Americans. He did it for tax cuts. Friendly reminder. Anyway.
But the big thing, we have tremendous growth potential, and we have tremendous numbers of dollars that can be saved through efficiency. The way we're spending money, hundreds of billions of dollars, what Biden did with the trillions of dollars that he borrowed for COVID. Now, I had a different situation. We were getting ready to start paying off debt. We were getting ready to make a lot. We had the greatest economy in history. I had to throw a lot of money at COVID in order that we didn't end up in a 1929 type depression, which we could still end up in now because of what they've done. But I threw a lot of money in, and we ended up not in a depression.
I
And then
can't
we ended up
comment.
with a very strong,
Dude,
I ended
you're
up with a
so
higher stock market than it was just previous to COVID coming in, which was pretty much of a miracle according to most. But we had to throw money out there in order to keep our country going. We would have ended up.
Can
if I
you
didn't
tell
do
me
that,
where his
we would have
plan
ended up
was
with a depression.
relayed yet?
The problem is when Biden came in, he
literally
took
just
trillions
talked
and
about
trillions of
reducing
dollars for
government
COVID. He
spending.
didn't use it for COVID. He used it for
He
other things.
talked about
But he took
reducing
trillions of dollars
government
out,
spending.
and that caused a lot of the inflation.
Just did.
Did Biden not talk about reducing government spending or increasing growth? As he said, Donald Trump, Biden also talked about growth as well. So this is why I wanted
want me
to
to
play
break it
this.
down then?
This is why I wanted to play this interview, guys. I didn't just want to go off
You
his
didn't play
word.
the whole thing.
I wanted to. I know. I'm not done. The reason why I wanted to play it is because you and I know, guys, those of us on our side of the aisle, we know Donald Trump's plans are ramblings. It's just ramblings. But I wanted everyone to see, all 500 something of you in here, that his plan was him rambling. And now we see an application.
No, it's not
there has been
rambling.
no
You follow
actual
economics,
solution
you would
in his
understand.
first year of his second term. Just want to point that out.
Energy costs, his
Yeah,
energy
and-
policies
hold
caused
on,
inflation.
can you
And
pause?
his
Can we talk about Joe
spending,
Biden?
the unbelievable spending that they
You don't want to talk about Joe Biden, right?
I'm sorry, Joe Biden did not run in the 2024
Oh,
election.
no.
Trump is
So
currently up
when-
on the background,
Hold on,
and specifically what your claim was is Donald Trump's plan put forward to reduce the national debt here in this interview. So
by
that's why we're
reducing
listening to
government
the
spending,
interview.
that's one
did.
thing he said.
Caused
Now,
inflation, tremendous
let me
inflation, and
focus
it's gonna
in
have an
on
impact for a long
what
time
you
to
said
come.
about Joe Biden
Can you talk about
reducing
your
government
impoundment
spending. You remember
authority
that?
intention? You mentioned that in the past, that you could go in and reduce the bureaucracy and the spend. I always tell people my position going into the election is less that I'm interested in knowing what the government's going to do for me, and I'm more interested in knowing what the government's going to stop doing that doesn't do any good for anyone. And there seems to be a lot of that. And I'm really curious to hear, sir, how you think about using the impoundment authority vested in you as president of the United States to reduce some of the bureaucracy, wasteful spending, and create accountability. And is there a team that you've built around you to help build a specific plan on backing out of some of these issues?
Right. We have a lot of money floating around that should be brought back into the government, should be given back to D.C., to Washington. As you know, there's a lot of money given out over the last couple of years, especially over the last. My money was given out to help us with COVID. Then they took money and they have no idea what they're even doing with it. That money can be given back, and it should be given back, and things can be done with that money that are positive. But there are many, many things. I'll give you an example.
What money?
Education. We spend more on education per pupil than any other country. We spend numbers that are, and yet we're terrible at it. We're down at the bottom of the list, and yet we're at the top of the list. I'm going to, very early in the administration, we're going to send education back to the states. We're going to give them approximately half the number of dollars, and they're going to have so much money that like they've never had before, because they can spend a fraction of what we're spending right now and have much better school systems. As an example, you go to
Wait. We're spending a ton of money on education, and our education is shit. So we're gonna cut the spending what we spend on education in half, and then the states are gonna have more money to make the education better. What? Hold on. What's your name again?
Yeah, because they're going to be
Rube,
more efficient.
did you
with
hear
the
that?
budget. Do you not get that?
Did you hear that?
You understand the difference between state versus federal? A state would have a better understanding of their education system and what they need to spend versus federal
I'm
government.
sorry.
Where they're just going to create.
Can you tell me what federal? Can you tell me what federal regulation?
Because you don't like the answer.
Yeah, what federal regulation makes the state spend more money on worse education? What are we talking
I didn't
about
say
here?
that. I'm saying that a federal government would not know the detailed needs of California.
And how would the federal government giving California money make their education worse? I'm trying to get you to explain to me how the federal government is making education worse.
Hold on. Can I answer the question? You're going to keep cutting me off.
Sure. Can you get specific?
Okay, once again, a federal government would not have a better understanding of the needs of the education of California than the California state government. The California state government would be better suited to allocate that money.
That would only apply if the federal government was controlling the spending of the state.
You keep cutting me off.
Because that would only apply, my guy,
bro.
literally what you just
Holy
said.
moly.
That would only apply if the federal government's funding
even
had
touch this guy.
prerequisites that would determine how the state functioned. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? You arguing against the federal government sending the states money, which would help them in their individual assessments of whatever, would only apply if the federal government had certain prerequisites, which it should, in my opinion, prerequisites to get the money or affect their education. Can you tell me how the federal government would be worsening state education individually?
Once again, there is a planned budget with the federal funding of these states when it comes to the education. What he's referencing is eliminating that completely and just saying, here, states, we're not going to try to run your education system.
How is the federal government running their education?
Oh my goodness, bro.
You're making allegations. How is the federal government running state education?
Holy moly.
You literally just said it. How is the federal government running state education?
So the federal government doesn't have programs that they have a blanket funnel.
Not you asking a question with a question.
They don't have a blanket funnel with all these states regarding funding as far as this school, that school, this school, as far as this, that, and this.
That's not how that works.
Hold on. I really want him to finish. I want to see if he can get an answer. No. I really need you to answer my question before Olive goes next.
No.
Can you tell me how the federal government is impacting state education?
Oh my goodness. Is there not a fund for education? Is there not a board of education?
The existence of a fund for state education, so more money for the state, is impacting state education?
What is the Board of Education?
You're answering my question with a question. Are you saying
goodness.
the
All right, bro.
existence
Can you tell
of
me
federal funding, the existence of more money for the states, somehow makes the education in individual states worse.
What is the Board of Education?
You're not going to be able to
Exactly.
answer my question, are you?
Do you know what the Board of Education
Yes.
is?
Do you know what the Board of
is
Education
it?
is?
What is it?
No. Tell me what the Board of Education does. I don't care about what it is. Tell me what it does. Tell me what the Board of Education does. Yes, because you don't know how to answer questions. Can you tell me what the Board of Education does?
All right, bro. Can Olive answer?
Guys, I just want to point out. Actually, I'm going to give it to Olive because you're a waste of time. No problem. Shut up. So this guy, I'm going to spoil it for you guys. He's going to make an argument that the federal government, via the Board of Education, the Department of Education more so, has some type of level of requirement or threshold or whatnot that negatively impacts state education. That is the argument he's going to make. And what he's about to do in a second is show that he has no fucking clue what any of those departments actually do for states. Go ahead, Olive.
So the purpose of the Department of Education is to allocate certain funds out for certain states. Example, I love how you picked California. Fun fact, California is one of the states that receive the least amount of funding from the Department of Education. Do you know what states receive the most funding for education?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't apply.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't apply to the argument.
Yeah, it does. Because
The
you can't
argument
use,
is
you
that
can't
it's
use,
going to be
you
more
can't,
efficient
you
to
can't, okay.
give
Are
the
you going
money
to
to
crash
the
out more?
states versus the
Okay.
federal government. That's the argument.
No, the argument is you don't understand the purpose of the Department of Education, and you think cutting funding there is going to benefit our education, and it doesn't.
Okay. So
So
what is the
again,
Department of-
when I asked you the question, I love how you want to use California
goodness.
as an example. States like Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee don't receive a lot of funding from the federal government, from the Department of Education. Therefore, those states are suffering those students. So when Donald Trump talked about defunding the Department of Education, which he has, we have seen a decrease in education within those states.
Okay, so now, your argument is that the states with the worst test grades that are performing the worst receive the least amount of money.
No, that's not what I said. California's is like number 2 in education. Massachusetts number 1. States
And you just said they receive the least amount from the federal
right,
government.
because they don't need the most money from the federal government.
Because they're able to
you
fund
just
their own education, my guy. That's
think
why
you
they
lack-
receive the
Holy
least,
moly.
because of the
So you're
sheer
saying-
amount of revenue that they have and put forward towards their own education. The red states that we'd be talking about that have the poorest test scores, that have the worst education, not only do not have their own or not enough revenue to put towards their own education, they're not, but then the federal funding they would receive the majority of.
Wow, this is crazy. All right, so just to
They need
reiterate,
the most help. California is doing just fine.
Yes,
they don't need any help from the federal government. Actually,
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
red
so-
states, some red states actually get funding from California.
Okay, so again, California takes in the least amount of money from the federal government, but yet
This
they
is
test
exactly why I
very
didn't want
high.
to
Is
answer.
that correct?
This is exactly why I didn't want to do that because I knew he
I
was going
know.
to do
They
this.
test
I knew
very
he was going
high,
to do
so
this.
it's
I knew he was
almost
going
I
to
didn't
do
mean to
this.
pivot. I'm sorry.
Here, okay, my guy.
It's almost
Listen,
as if
here's what I'm gonna do.
they're
I'm gonna
better
now
at
that you
using
now that you
funds
want to run this point. Now that
the
you want to
federal
run this
government.
point. Now that you want to run this point, I knew you were going here. Now that you want to run this point, that California is doing better in education because they don't receive as much federal funding. Can you tell me what impact federal funding has on the red states?
what impact federal funding
Yeah,
has.
to make it worse, right? Because the federal revenue funding is why they have lesser scores, right? Right? Or oh, that pause you had is kind of crazy. Are you now thinking about how stupid that sounds?
No, that the increase of I don't know. What's the correlation?
I'm asking you because that's the correlation you've been attempting to make for the past couple of minutes.
Well, that's what she said. She says California
No,
takes the
no,
amount
that is
from the federal
not the
government,
correlation
and
that
they-
she made. You're not
she
paying
just-
attention to this
is what-
conversation.
no, that's what she said. They take in the least amount of money,
Oh my
but yet
fuck.
they score very high.
Oh,
weren't
So
listening
what does
my
that
to what I
imply?
said.
At all.
You weren't
At
listening to
all,
what I
Olive.
said.
W's in the chat
does that
to
imply?
Maze for the $5 Venmo. Guest is training his gag reflex on the Billionaires boot. Okay, size queen. That's
What does
fucking
that imply?
diabolical. W's in the chat to you, Maze. W's in the chat to you. I appreciate
Can
your
you
support.
give me an
Guys,
example?
really
of
quickly, I need
increased
to do a
federal
PSA.
funding
I need to do a PSA.
leads to-
Guys, there are 543 people in the live right now. 543 people. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Upon doing so, make sure you send your daily heartbeats and become a part of the fan club member team. You get a couple free stickers when you do. Thank you guys for the follows. Comments are engagements. Also, make sure you're sharing out the live with your friends and family, reposting and adding it to your story. Knock out these little little one-cent gift goals that we have. If you really want to support me, you can check out the gift gallery when you click on my name and scroll down to the B4 gift gallery. Knock out all the great gifts there. Super, very much appreciate that. When you're done doing it, make sure you check the links in the bio for the best ways to support the platform, whether it's following me on other social medias, joining the Discord community, getting yourself some merch off the shop, as one of them seen behind me, or donating directly to the links in the bio, Cash App or Venmo, PayPal. Cash App or Venmo, Hector Talks with 2 R's. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the tube side, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notification bells, and if you want to support the platform, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Take care of Olive while she's here as well. Thank you so much, Olive, for coming up. Make sure we're taking good care of her. All right, back to you. I'm going to ask you this question one more time. I'm going to see for once in your life if you can get real fucking direct and specific instead of doing this dance that you're doing. Does federal funding that would be allocated to states impact whether they have better or worse education?
Supposed to make it better, but it shows that
Federal funding makes it better, correct?
it's supposed to make
It's
it better,
supposed to
but
make it,
it has not.
but it has not.
That's why he
Has it
cuts
made
the
it
board
worse?
to give the money to
Has
the
it made it
states so the
worse?
states could better operate.
What do you mean
the
give
money
the money
than
to the
federal
states? He's
government.
cutting the federal funding to the states,
He's cutting the amount that he would pay the federal government,
slashing it in half.
and then giving that money to the states because the states would be more efficient with that money.
Are you fucking
That's the whole
stupid?
point.
What the
state
fuck
is
do you
Clearly
mean
you
he's
are.
slashing it in half to give it to
Clearly-
the states? It was already going to the states.
That's
The-
what I was. That's
the
what I
Board
was
of
saying.
Education has a
There is no Board of
requirement.
Education at the federal
Has-
level. That is the
has-
Department of
they
Education.
have-
You need to pick
they-
words specifically. When you are talking about the
They
Board
have-
of Education, when you
they
are
have a
talking, when you are
list
talking, okay, are you
of
done?
what
Are
they
you going
wanna
to keep
fund.
pressing out?
And what do they do not want to fund? Now
That is
what
not
we're doing
determined- that is
we're
not-
taking them out
That is
and we're
not.
saying, here states, I
Uh-huh.
want you to decide what you want to do with this money and not the
Okay.
federal government.
Cool. Great. So again, when you're talking about the Board of Education, you are talking about the state's decision when it gets to the states, done by the Department of Education. When we are talking about slashing funds, an example, right? Back in June of 2025, the Department of Education withheld $6.2 million for after-school programs. That also includes daycares and stuff like that. Okay, those states are still experiencing struggles because the Department of Education is not receiving the adequate funds that they once did.
Okay, now it's going to be, that money is going to be cut in half and be given to the states so that the states
Oh my
can
God.
properly allocate that money. Because
What-
the
what
states
state are
would
you
have
from?
you see, the state
What's
would have a
stopping?
better
What's stopping the
understanding
states
to
from allocating
properly
that money towards their
allocate that
education
money
now?
than the federal government.
My
So
guy, what's
who
stopping the
better-
states from allocating the
Oh,
full
all
funding
right.
now?
Hold on. All right. The federal government or the state
Can you answer my
government,
question?
Who would be better
Can you answer my
suited
question?
to solve
Can
the
you answer my
issues of
question?
that state?
Can you answer my
This
question?
is the argument. This is the
Because you keep saying he's going to cut the money in half and they're going to better allocate it. What's stopping them from allocating it properly now?
That part.
because a state would have a better understanding of their state than the federal government.
Can
money
you tell
goes
me?
to the
Okay,
state.
this. Hold on, Olive. Hold on, Olive. Hold on, Olive. This is. We literally keep going in circles now. I need you to track the conversation, okay? Let's say right now, I'm just going to give numbers. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Let's say $100 million goes to Alabama right now from the federal government for their education, okay? Donald Trump is proposing, in what we just watched, slapping it in half. So $50 million. According to you, slashing the federal funding that they're already getting to half, that they're already allowed to allocate to literally whatever they need it to do, is going to improve their education. Can you explain to me what's stopping states before Trump slashed their funding in half from allocating the money properly towards their own education?
Now, the truth is that they weren't just giving them all this money, but a big portion of it wasn't just given to them. That Department of Education held that money, paid bonuses to the people on staff. They created programs that weren't necessary, that forced these
Fucking
states to
moron.
run.
You're an
This is the
fucking
reference
moron.
to.
Can you tell
dude.
me?
Okay,
Can
bro.
you tell me?
All
So
right,
so
bro,
so
I'm
so
done.
so by them slashing the funding, that, yeah, run like a bitch. That's exactly what I thought you would do. Run like a bitch. What kind of stupid fucking point is
Why
that?
are you running?
What kind of stupid fucking
Why are
point
you
is that?
running?
The money allocated towards the state was spent on bonuses in the Department of Education.
That doesn't make any sense. And specifically, when we're talking about states like Alabama, West Virginia, et cetera, they don't allocate the funds properly. In my opinion, in my perfect world, we would federalize education. The Department of Education would not only control funding, they would also control curriculum and the correct way to be teaching students. But
The federal I knew he was going to do that. That's why I tried to get him to answer that one question. How is the federal funding more than what Trump is proposing to slash worsening individual state education? That's what I'm saying. So the argument always falls back into the same thing. These people believe literally what we want. Let me explain. These people believe that the Department of Education controls what they teach, how they teach it, and if they get more if they don't teach it in a certain fashion. Fun fact, that's not what the Department of Education does. That's what I want it to do. I want the Department of Education to have a federal standard of education across every single state, because some of y'all states are falling behind and you need to have a set rule. But here we are. It's just really ridiculous. He kept saying I forgot what he said. Anyway, Olive, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
thanks for having me up. W. Heck.
All right, catch you later. Solar, did you vote for Trump?
I didn't. I'm just a viewer, but I'm really enjoying the stream.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Olive came up because she was a friendly. Trump supporters request up in the box to the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. That's 737-295-5321. If any Trump supporters specifically would like to elaborate on what that person was incapable of doing, please feel free to do so. I want to know what prerequisite the federal government is saying that would require you to get more funding or be able to allocate it to whatever you want. I want to know if the federal government is saying, hey, we don't like that you don't like gay people. You have to teach that kids can be gay in schools. Otherwise, we're not going to give you this additional $50 billion. That's what these people believe, by the way. That's literally what they believe. I just want to point that out. That's what they believe. But yes, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Something I did want to go over. Fuck it. Let me put it back up on the screen. Let me put it back up on the screen here. This interview was ridiculous. Hold on.
Name many. You go to Nebraska, you go to Iowa, you go to many states. We'll do a far better job than we're doing right now. And they'll do it for a fraction of the cost. We'll save a tremendous amount of money and have better. Some states, I don't believe will do a very good job, but they're going to have to learn to. But we have, I would say most of our states will do a much better job. I think all of them will do better than, you can't do worse than what we're doing right now, but all of them will do better. But some will be absolutely education, factory in a positive sense, factories. We are going to close up education. We'll have a tiny little group to make sure everyone's teaching at least English and perhaps proper math, et cetera, but very little. Department of Education goes, and education goes back to the states. And where it belongs. I mean, where it absolutely belongs. And you're going to save a lot of money. You can look at interior with that. You can look at environmental with a lot of that, where the environment can be controlled by the states instead of this big bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. I mean, what do you do when China is burning all the coal and they're sending the ashes over the United States? Because that's what happens. It takes 3.5 days and it blows over the United States. In the meantime, we're keeping things good. We produce clean coal. We're going to produce clean energy. But we have to get back to energy. We're spending...
This was the plan he put forward in a podcast that beat Harris's plan in the document that he didn't even read. That was a plan. That was a plan. Guys, double tap that screen. There's no reason why we shouldn't already be or past 100,000 likes. We're sitting at 91K. What are we doing? Double tap the screen. Show the algorithm we want to be here. Tap that screen. Let's get the likes up to 125K. And I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes to do so. 497 people in here. Tap the screen. Show the algorithm that you want to be here. Trump supporters request up in the box. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? No more teaching in it. Oh, interesting. I'm going to send you an invite, Thomas, because I really want you to elaborate on that comment. Really want you to elaborate on that comment. Please understand that the comment section is not going to be your safe space. That goes for you on the TikTok side and those of you over on the YouTube side. You have the number you can call in on screen, 737-295-5321, and that's where you can elaborate your points. Some dude, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Have I spoken to you before?
Yep, we have. But I've got a different question today. What do you contribute to society?
What do I contribute to society? I have a clarifying question. How do you define contributing to society? I'm asking a clarifying question. How do you define contributing to society?
Why can't you answer that question?
I can. I said I'm asking for a clarifying question so I can
Then
answer
answer
your
the
question
question.
appropriately.
Then answer the question.
I'm trying to
What do
answer your
you-
question appropriately.
What do you,
How would you
uh,
define
contribute to
contributing to
society?
society?
What do you contribute to society?
I would love to answer your question. I need you
So
to
you
tell
can't
me,
answer the
how would
question.
you define contributing to society?
Just say you can't answer the question.
I can
Stop
answer the
fucking
question.
moving the
I'm literally
goalposts.
telling you that I can.
It's sad.
It's
You
really
don't
sad that you
contribute
don't
anything.
want to answer
Thank
a clarifying
you for proving
question.
my point.
How
So
would
again,
you
what do
define
contribute to
contributing to society? Because I could, okay, let's try this again. So I can tell you several things that I do to contribute to society, but the reason why I'm
Then do
asking
it.
you to define how
Then
you
do
would
it. Say
ascertain
it.
that
What do you
would be
contribute?
because I can say 7 or 8 things and then you can say no, and then we can have a whole debate
I'm
on
just
how you
asking
would
for
define
one.
contributing to society.
I'm just
I just
asking
want to
for
make
one.
sure that I answer the question appropriately. Can
I'm
you
just asking for
now
one.
tell me how would
I'm
you
just
define
asking for
contributing
one.
to society?
I'm just asking for one.
How would you
What
define
do you
contributing?
contribute
Dude,
to
I can give
society?
you 17. How would you define contributing to
One.
society?
Give me one.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy. How would you define contributing to
So you
society?
don't? Do you contribute to
Did
society?
you come up
or
here
not?
asking a question that you weren't fully prepared to articulate or understand?
That is what I thought.
That's really
I asked
embarrassing.
One question, you couldn't answer it.
I'm
So again,
literally
I'll ask one
trying
more
to
time,
answer
what do you
it. I'm
contribute?
literally trying to answer it for you. Trump supporters request up in the box you the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you can answer a clarifying question on the things that you would present, because that is a broad blanket question, I have no problem answering it. But you need to be prepared to better articulate what exactly you want out of the question that you're answering, how you would define such things. That's like coming up here and saying, I'm trying to see. Imagine asking, is wheat bad? What do you mean is wheat bad? Is wheat bad? I'd be like, how would you define wheat as bad? By what metric would we say wheat is bad? We talk about like the farming of wheat, the abundance of wheat, I guess overload of it clogging your, like, what are we talking about? That's a strange, weird question. You can ask a clarifying question. Are we talking about in the farming industry? Are we talking about for your body process? Like, what exactly? Clarifying questions. You can ask clarifying questions to questions that could be so broad and blanket that it doesn't really help you get to the point that you're trying to get to. So, hey, some dude, when you're able to come back up and answer my clarifying question, I can tell you exactly what I contribute to society. Because I think if you asked me what I contribute to society and I said my good looks, you would have a problem with that answer, right? But that in my mind could be how I contribute to society. So I now need you to define the brackets for what we consider contributing. Does that make sense? W's in the chat for Chris. Thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate you. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer your questions. Guys, we're going to answer his questions now. And hopefully this will make him come back up and clarify. Everyone wants to know what I contribute to society. I'm going to tell you. I think you guys looking at this face almost on a daily basis contribute to society immensely. Like, can you imagine a world without Hector? Can you imagine a world without these lips, these cheekbones, this beard, this half-open shirt? Can you imagine what your life would be like without this view? Crazy. Crazy. Imagine what the world would be if I didn't give you this beautiful display every day. That's what I contribute to society. Another thing that I contribute to society is my laugh. I think I have an interesting laugh. I think people hear my laugh and they get a great amount of joy from it. Now, I imagine that person would disagree with every fucking thing that I mentioned. Now you understand why I needed you to clarify? Great, cool. Fucking stupid. These people are fucking stupid, man. Trump supporters request up in the box here the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call on the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just trying to make a point. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just trying to make a point. I don't understand why you guys come up here thinking that you gotta have some type of gotcha, and then you get put flat on your face when someone asks a clarifying. I didn't rebut him. I asked a clarifying question. Thank you so much, Cat Captain, and thank you, Cindy, for the blow bubbles, whatever the fuck that is. I appreciate you. Guys, if you look in the gift section, you're going to see a yellow heart with a blue Hectua's wording. Please make sure that we knock those out. I don't have a set goal. I don't even know how to do that, but I know it's important for TikTok. So if you see that gift in the section, send a bunch of those. Send a bunch of that. I believe in earned arrogance. Oh, I can go on about that. I tell Erica this. I tell people this all the time. I don't mind arrogant people. I don't mind like really like people with a lot of audacity, especially if you have something to stand on, right? Now, ultimately, I do like to lean into more being humility. I try to be, why am I struggling right now? Humble. I do. I really do. But every now and then you got to flex on someone. But no, if you know your shit and you're good at what you do, you have every fucking right to be arrogant. Try not to be a dick about it, but you have every right to be arrogant. That's what the fuck you worked for. That's what you earned. Why wouldn't you be? That would be a waste. The fuck? Now, it's people, it's numbskulls who don't know shit about fuck, who try to come up here and argue with me about things and they don't know the three branches of government. Those people really get under my skin. The way some of these Trump supporters go from panel to panel with all this audacity and they don't know anything, that's the part that bothers me. That's the part that bothered me. Speak on what you know, be good at what you know, and be as arrogant as you want. Otherwise, zip it. The average Democrat, leftist, liberal knows more about Donald Trump than the average Trump supporter. And we know this when we put up specific topics like we did last week. Donald Trump is a racist. How racist are you? And the request box was full of people arguing with me about how wrong I am on his racism. And then we give examples specifically over the course of about 60 years of how racist he was. And they say with their full chest, I've never heard that a day in my life. Now, I'm not saying one thing that you don't know means you don't know anything about the person, but it's just crazy to me that you wouldn't, you're going to argue with me about a point that you never heard and something that you never researched. That's the crazy part. Now, some dude is back up in the request. I just want to let you know he's back up in the request. So I'm going to let you guys decide. Some dude, you got to put it in the chat. Are you willing to answer the clarifying question that I asked you about how you would measure contributing to society? You got to put it in the chat. Because if you're not going to do that, I'm not letting you back up just to scream and cry and cuss me out or call me a slur like you fuckers always do. What's going on, Ari? Are you going to answer the clarifying question? Otherwise, I'm not wasting my time. Scotty, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Wonderful. Scotty, I have a question for you. What do you contribute to society?
Well, right now, I am just a hardworking man, and I pay my taxes, and I take care of my daughter.
Okay. Interesting.
I am not no creator. I do not put major disbeliefs in people's eyes, and I just stand on what I believe in.
Okay.
You can laugh, but I'm just a typical man.
Sure. Can you turn down your background noise?
I cannot. My daughter is watching her tablet.
Okay.
I can move, though, more than welcomely.
Yeah, that works. Make sure she's still in view, though. Be a good dad.
She's chilling. She's falling asleep. It's close to bedtime for her.
Cool. I want to go back to what you said about, what did you say? Spreading false, or what did you say again?
I don't know. For which part?
You said something about I'm not on the internet spreading something.
Oh, I'm not on the internet spreading false information. I didn't say
spreading false information. Got you. That's what I wanted to hone in on. Before we get into regretting your vote, whether you do or don't, you probably don't. Can you tell me what false information I've spread in the time you've been watching this live?
Okay, so I didn't say you were spreading false information. I said as a man, I do not do online spreading false information.
Oh, I feel like you specifically getting on a panel with a person who's talking online.
Is a racist is indeed false information.
Oh, so you would be talking about me. There's a long-winded way of you saying you'd be talking about me.
Technically, for that instance, yes, I guess that you could 100% say that, yes.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Cool. So you're under the belief that Donald Trump is not a racist, correct?
I do not. I've seen a lot about Trump. I do read up as much as I possibly can. I'm not going to say I know everything about Trump. But for most of his instances, he does seem to support a lot of black movements as well as other things, and including for my main thing, for me, which is what I took offense for, is I am a big Michael Jackson fan, very big, and I was like, come on, how are you going to call someone like that a racist?
W's Gucci for the meteor shower. Big W's to Gucci for the meteor shower. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna need to see some W's in the chat for that. Click on my name in the top left corner. Scroll down to the B4 gift gallery. We're gonna have a couple grayed out things in that gift gallery. It's super important that we knock that out every week, and I'd love to get a head start. Big W's to Gucci and Shauna for knocking out a few of them so far. Please feel free to knock out gifts in there if you'd like to support the stream in that fashion. And finally, there's going to be links in the bio if you want to send a direct donation. I do have one to read off really quickly. W's in chat to Ashley for the $2.63 Cash App for the Taco Meat Fund.
I want some tacos. Sorry.
W's to you, Ashley. W's to you. Thank you for the taco meat. All right, back to you. So in your research and to your knowledge, Donald Trump is not a racist. Okay, cool.
I don't believe he is a full-blown racist. No, I do not.
Full blown. Okay, so that's an additional factor there. So you don't believe he's a full blown racist, which would imply that he could be racist.
I believe he can stereotype in certain ways, which I believe most people do. I wouldn't say they're racist for that, though. They have beliefs, which even if they are wrong, being a racist to me is just full-blown hating on a certain group or ethnic individuals and just hating everything about them, their looks, the way they talk, act, everything of the sort. Can you have dislikes? And definitely can say it can consider as a stereotyping someone. That could be, some people would consider racist.
I'll tell you
To
the
me,
problem
I
with
think
what
it's
you
wrong.
said. Oftentimes, people associate racism with hate, and even in the Oxford definition, which doesn't tell the full story, but even in the Oxford definition of racist that I can pull up and read right now, hate would never be described in that word. So that's
I believe
interesting. So it wouldn't be hate. Let me give you an example. Do you like black women? Do you find black women attractive?
Some of them.
Okay, yeah, you find some black women attractive. Absolutely. Okay, cool. So let's say you go out to a bar one night and you're having a time of your life. Obviously, in this scenario, you'd be single because I have no idea what your relationship status is. So in this scenario, you'd be single. You go out to a bar one night. You see this beautiful black woman. You like what you see. You get to talking to her. You guys are getting it on. You bring her back to your apartment, home, whatever the fuck you live. Okay. And you have the time of her life. You knock the fucking socks off her feet, okay? And then you wake up the next morning and you tell her, "Hey, you gotta go. I don't like ghetto queens in my bed." What does that have to do with hate?
I think, well, all right, that's valid, but I think that's just racist. That right there is just racist.
But that had nothing to do with hate because you really enjoyed looking at her. You really enjoyed interacting with her. You really enjoyed blowing her back out. So what does that have to do with hate?
Well, then how would that have to do anything with race, like being racist?
Did you miss the part that I mentioned ghetto queen?
I feel like you would have to actually hate somebody that much or dislike them. I won't even say hate. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. But I feel like you would have to really dislike that ethnic group to be able to just like, okay, I had fun and still be like, get the fuck out because you're a ghetto queen. That's just not okay. And that is racist.
But you really like them, and that's why they got home with you to begin with.
But then I wouldn't kick them out.
But in this scenario, you did. So that's the point that I'm making. Racism is nothing to do with hate. Can hate be involved? Yes. But hate is not a prerequisite for racism.
Okay. I mean, I get your point, but I would think you can agree in today's standard and how people look at things. Most people, that is how a lot of people look at it. That you must hate them to be racist.
Yes, and a lot of people,
on
particularly one demographic, do not understand racism and how it works. And that's why they often misinterpret it or apply it into the wrong circumstances.
Okay. So I see your point, and I would love for you to honestly go on about it. I'm not a rude person, but I always enjoy, even if I am wrong, to be told that I am wrong. I don't think it will change my views on most things, but I'm not blowing bubbles.
Being wrong wouldn't change your views on things?
I don't think it will change my views on most, like, completely. And it won't change my views completely, but I do enjoy being educated on things if I am mistaken.
Okay, great. I'm going to use the most recent example, even though I hate talking about this. Donald Trump made a Truth Social post recently that depicted the Obamas as monkeys. Do you think that was racist?
100%.
Okay.
I don't think he's a racist, though. I think he just strongly dislikes or hates Obama, and which you can argue that it's because he is black. which, I mean, that is what most people will argue. But for that instance, as I'm, like I said, I'm really not a racist person. But if I'm really going to try to piss somebody off, I'm going to call them what's really going to piss them off. Now, I'm not going to go up and call somebody the N-word, but you get my drift there, right? I think he did it mainly to piss them off and fully get under their skin, which technically, yes, it was a racist inquisition, but I wouldn't say he's not a actual racist because of a post towards
What is an
one
actual
person.
racist?
You hate all black people.
Again, we
You can
went
hate
over the
some,
fact
or
that has nothing to do with hate.
Hate. Sorry, my bad. My ideology. So sorry. I'm trying. I will do my best not to say it. To how much he dislikes Obama compared to all of the African or black communities. I don't think he dislikes all of them. I think he really dislikes Obama, and he used which will automatically get under his skin and really get underneath a lot of people's skin.
Great. So Donald Trump decided to post something racist to get under someone's skin.
Towards one individual, not
so if it's only one person, it's not racist.
No, I can 100% say he was being racist towards Obama.
Okay, but you keep saying one person, is that changes the circumstance.
See, that's where I would go back to hate, but you're not doing that. So once again, I believe that it was a strong dislike for Obama. Not going to say that I liked Obama.
I know, okay,
and I'm not going to say I didn't. I was too young to understand politics back then. So I don't care what Obama did because it affected me as a child, I'm sure.
What reason did Donald Trump have to hate Obama before he became president or during his presidency?
Obama made a lot of Obama just made comments to make Trump look bad in more ways than he should have and expected somebody not to retaliate.
What comment was that?
Well, for instance, like you're saying, he's a racist. He doesn't care about people. He's a bigot. He's a fascist, which I don't believe is all totally true. Trump does do a lot of good things. He supports a lot of the black community. And I don't believe you can say he's a racist because he has a strong dislike toward one black person.
So let me get this straight. I gave you an example of him being racist towards Obama's family. And Donald Trump's justification for being racist towards Obama or saying derogatory things towards Obama would be the fact that Obama would have called him racist. So then Donald Trump would be retaliating. Okay. So Donald Trump would be retaliating against Obama for calling him what he is. Is that what we're saying?
No. But
that is literally what you're saying.
I'm going to call you the N-word. I'm an eye for an eye person. It's wrong politically, but I am an eye for an eye person.
It's wrong in general, I would argue.
Well, that's... yeah, see, I'm not...
Chat, am I tripping, or did he just say, if you call me a cracker, I call you the N-word?
Yep.
Okay.
Because at the same time, you're calling me that to make fun of my race, so I'm going to call you what you dislike and hate.
Interesting.
Not that, like I said, I'm not a racist person, but...
I'm not a racist person unless pushed, right?
No, but if you treat me racistly, I'm going to treat you racistly.
I'm not a racist person unless pushed. That's all you said. And if your racism... Hold on, no.
Racist to
my guy,
I will be racist to you.
So, I'm not a racist person unless pushed. That's what I said. And your push would be someone allegedly being racist towards you by calling you a cracker, which, fun fact, isn't a black term made up against white people. Cracker was described as the slave catchers who would use whips to whip them across black people's back. It would make a crack sound.
So
crack.
See, and you,
whack,
so you are
right?
100% correct. But
so there's that. Cool? Great.
But
just want to
see,
point
like
that
I
out.
said, you are correct.
So in order for it to be a racial slur towards white people in a derogatory fashion that would have to be associated with everything else you're leaving out, then it would have to be invented by the black community as a slur towards the white community, but it's not. W's in the chat to Jordan for the money guns. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for clearing that in the gift gallery. Big W's to you. Okay, so you're not racist unless someone is racist towards you. So your racism is dependent on how someone treats you. So
my racism depends on if you're going to treat.
that's
if you're gonna be
literally what I
racist
said. I
towards
don't know.
me.
You're doing all these extra words to say exactly what I'm saying. If your racism is dependent on how someone speaks to you, then you're just racist. You don't get to take it on and put it off. You're just racist. And you're just a racist pending. You're just a pending racist, which makes you racist.
Once again, it's an eye for an eye. You call me.
So you're a racist.
So I'm.
Yes.
In your eyes, yes. In your eyes, yes. I will agree with you. In your eyes, yes. But let me.
No. You don't get the
let
watered
me
down.
reiterate
You
what
can't
you
say
said.
in my eyes. You said you openly admitted to being racist if you felt someone was being racist towards you. You were putting a requirement on your racism, which makes you a racist.
So listen, I'm gonna put it this way. Like plenty of people, I didn't really have a father in my life. My father was a black man, not my actual
God bless
biological
you.
father. My best friend, he is black, and his father is black. I've hung out with this man since I was 6 years old, and I can tell you from a black man, and we've had this conversation multiple times. And even he would tell me, he goes, if a black man is gonna call you a cracker in a negative way, he goes, and this is word for word, that man is being racist towards you because you are white and he can't get over slavery. And I go, well, that's kind of fucked up to say.
I don't care about the uneducated opinions of your black friends, my guy. We're going to focus on the fact that you came up here to say that you do not believe that Donald Trump is a racist, and then you agreed with me on a racist thing he did, and then you admittedly said that you're racist yourself. W's in the chat to Jordan for the DJ glasses. Thank you so much, Jordan. I appreciate you for clearing out another gift in the gift gallery. Big W's to you. Big W's to you. So, you admitted or you agreed with me on a thing that Donald Trump did that is racist. Mind you, that's only a tip of the iceberg, but we agreed. And then you followed up by saying that you would be racist towards someone if you felt that they were being racist towards you. So if all it takes for someone to piss you off for you to be racist, then you're a racist. And it would make sense why you would then vote for said racist.
Right there is where you're taking things out of context.
What did I take out of context?
So what you're saying is that you have to just piss me off. So you're saying a black man could piss me off, and I'm going to start calling them all types of fucked up things.
That's what you said.
No,
that's what you said.
What I said was, if you were going to call me a racial slur, as in a cracker, because that is what the black community will say to a white person,
which is not racist. And I went over the fact that was a word invented by white people to describe white people.
Well,
black people using that word to describe an ignorant white person would not be to the same degree as black people saying white people saying nigga, considering that white people reduced us to niggers when it was a slur.
Okay, so
is a slur.
Which one's the slur? The word nigga or the hard R?
Are you black?
No, and I don't care because I believe it is a word, and I don't mean it as in a racist way. And with how much the black community says it, they had
This is exactly why. This is exactly why we say what we say about Trump supporters. This is exactly why we say what we say about these people. Sir, you are a racist. I just want to let you know that. You are a racist. You're comfortable in your racism. And according to you, it's okay because it's just a word. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Not only did you agree that Donald Trump did a racist thing, but then you then tried to spin it and say that Donald Trump was justified in weaponizing his racism towards Obama for calling him what he is. And then you followed up by saying, I would be racist if I felt someone was being racist towards me. Fun fact, a person of Latino descent can call me every damn black slur in the book, and I would never call them a W back. I would never do that. Because that shit is wrong. I would never use that word towards a Mexican or Latino person or a Latino descent, a Hispanic person, because that shit would be fucked up. That would be racist. I would never use that word back towards them, no matter what the fuck they call me, because I'm better than that. But according to you, you just need the right opportunity. And an opportunity racist is a full-blown racist. There is no pending. There's no wearing it selectively. That's how that works, my guy. So I'll tell you what. There's nothing else I can really say on that. You're going to argue with everything I said. I do not fucking care. Do you regret your vote for Donald Trump? I don't think he knows how to unmute. I sent you the invite. That was one of the craziest conversations I've ever heard, y'all.
Sorry, I didn't know. I thought it was saying if I wanted to turn on my camera.
You do not regret your vote for Donald Trump, correct?
I do not, and it's not because I think he's a racist.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you regret your vote for Trump?
Because Trump has done a lot of great things,
Like
even
what?
if he has done a lot of bad things. Like what? Okay, so easily, as what most people say is racism, is border control. Even though every single president before him has done the exact same thing and deported more people than he has so far. Not racism. Right there, every country does border control. We should be doing it, and now we're doing it more. We're getting more involved in it, which I do believe is great.
If
A lot of
every
people
president
saying that-
beforehand did the exact same thing that Donald Trump did, why
Look it up, bud.
is Donald Trump getting all the smoke that he's getting compared to the other presidents?
Because he is a white elderly man that people want to make out to be a scumbag.
So we're
And that is all there was
shitting
to
on
it.
him
That's all there is
solely
to it.
based off the fact that he's white.
Yes, I
Okay.
can honest to God say that. But back to what I think he did good.
No, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about immigration.
So,
Can you tell
like
me
I-
when Joe Biden, Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, Reagan, the first Bush, can you tell me when any of these presidents in the last several decades ever justified the killing of an American citizen by an ICE agent?
Well, I mean, even I can say that when you go to an ICE thing and act up, start kicking at their cars, throwing rocks, or act.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. Can
actively
you
attempt-
tell me
No.
when any of these previous presidents ever justified the killing of American citizens by ICE?
Well, no, I cannot, because no American citizen was actively trying to injure federal agents.
Oh, so there was never any protest before this administration against ICE?
I'm sure there was.
There was
but they weren't
never
actively trying
lawsuits
to
by,
harm
say,
agents,
things like
no.
the ACLU to the Obama administration for violating due process and not addressing more humanitarian needs for people who cross the southern border?
So, I think, listen, I don't believe anybody has no right to come to America. Anybody can come in. The doors are always open. Just come through the legal ways. And I
Yeah,
don't
again,
think that's
you're
a
pivoting,
problem.
you're not answering my question. Can you get better at answering my question?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Re-ask your question, please.
Are you saying that there were never any protests against Democratic presidents for the way that they deported people or utilized ICE?
Oh, I'm sure there absolutely was, yes.
Okay, then. So, why is Donald Trump justifying the murder of American citizens versus the previous presidents who have not?
Well, like I said before, because in these other protests, the protesters weren't actively trying to hurt, kill, or injure the federal agents.
Can you tell me if Keith Porter, Alex Preddy, or Renee Nicole Good was trying to hurt ICE agents?
Renee attempted to run over an ICE agent. Alex, the nurse guy, even I do believe that was an unjustified killing, and I do not stand with that. Because I had an argument with my buddy, because he said, "Do you think this is wrong?" I said, yes and no. I'm like, he kicked out a car taillight, but for them shooting him, it does not seem to be justified, even if he did have a gun, because you're legally allowed to carry a weapon. That one, I think, was unjustified. Renee Goodman attempted to run over an ICE agent after her girlfriend instinctively told her, "Run him the fuck over," and then it proceeds to drive the vehicle and
I'm
almost
sorry.
hit
I'm
the ICE
sorry.
agent.
I'm sorry. Did you just
Yeah.
say Renee Nicole Good's girlfriend told her to run the ICE agent over?
Did you not see the videos,
I
man?
did. So I'd love to know what video you saw and you heard that.
The first one that came out,
The first one that came out?
when Renee is still in the car and the girlfriend is out on the side, and he said, "No, just go," and run him the fuck over. Granted, I don't think she 100% meant run him over, but
Well,
she took it that
I'm
way.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You think she said run him over and it didn't mean run him over?
I think that a lot of people say things when they're pissed off. Doesn't mean to be taken literal.
I don't think that would matter in a court of law.
No, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't, and that is why.
Okay, then.
Her
Do you
death
have a
is
secondary
justified.
device that you can use to look up information?
I mean, I have a laptop, but I'm not going to do that. I will take your word for me if you want to look it up.
I
am that
really
person.
want you to give me a brief overview or understanding of what video footage you saw that the girlfriend said this so I can play it. That's what I want.
You know what? I really can't right now because I don't have any information logged in on mine. But I swear to God.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
I will DM you the
was
video
the angle
at a later
that's
date.
not going to
Will
work.
you
We're going to do
accept
this
that?
right now. Does the angle
Okay.
that you're talking about did that happen to be the angle of the officer who shot her?
No, the angle would be the one of the officer on the side, not the one in front who actually shot her, but on the side, back when the girlfriend was just on the passenger side when she first got out of the car originally.
Alrighty, really quickly, I need to read off some.
I could be wrong.
You are.
I could be wrong.
W's in the
I
chat
won't
to
say it. I
Maze
won't.
for the $5 Venmo. This guest is Mayo Mayhem, rice paper racist, slurs spewing snow roach, the caucasity, white guilt fun. He would say you're racist for those terms. By the way, Maze is a white person. W's in the chat to you, Maze. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Olive for the for the $20 Venmo. Can I call him a cracker? I paid $20. You want me to let you up just to call him a cracker?
You can call me a cracker. I'll just call him a cracker.
You know what? You know what? I gotta give the people what they want. For 20, I gotta give the people what they want. W's in the chat to
Scotty.
Brandon. W's in the
What's
chat to
up,
Brandon
Oliver?
for the $5 Venmo. To the guest Logic saying Trump isn't a racist when doing racist things. If a man commits murder, is he not a murderer? Trump is a racist. Well, he wouldn't be a full-blown murderer, apparently so. Because if he only murdered someone because he got a threat of being murdered, he wouldn't be that.
He is
I guess that's the logic,
actively being
Brandon.
ran over.
I don't know.
That is a justifiable kill. Yes.
W's
Go
in the
ahead,
chat
son,
to
man.
you. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Trisha for the $25 Venmo. Absolutely not. What's the drop fee? Go away, Scotty the racist. I don't have a drop fee just yet. We can get that going though. We'll do a vote on it. W's in the chat to you, Trisha. W's in the chat to Eric.
I'm sorry. Is your name Olive or Oliver? I can't.
It's
your
Olive.
name is.
I think.
I'm sorry. It's cut out on mine a little bit. And I can't. I just thought
okay.
it was Oliver. My bad.
I'm just gonna say your username,
mistake.
Creative Nikki. W's in the chat to you for the $5 Venmo. So he's just going to freely say the N-word in front of that poor child. What a piece of shit. Yeah, that was crazy. That actually was
I didn't
fucking
say
crazy.
the N-word in front of my child.
It's actually,
Thank you.
it sounds like you're literally in the room. You said she was watching something. We can still hear the playing in the background. Your child is in the room when you just said
My
that.
daughter's actually playing right now, but I never said the hard R in front of my kid.
It doesn't
So,
matter
thank you.
what word you said. You said that around your child, and your child shouldn't use any of them.
My child doesn't.
You probably shouldn't say those words around your child, though.
No, you
Well,
shouldn't.
you
No,
could be right
Scotty.
about that, but
No, Scotty, you
Yes.
cracker, right? I need you to understand
you're a cracker
something,
too.
right?
It's cool.
I know, I'm aware, and I want you to know something. I proudly
You got the
talk
wrong
about
one.
how I am a cracker. I actually talk about you specifically, you lizards, in more ways than one. As a saltine and as someone who proudly proclaims herself as an egg, you are the sole reason why we're in this predicament. I personally think Hector should have kicked you off a long ass time ago
I'm
because
sure he
you had
could
the
have.
fucking caucasity to drop the N bomb like it was nothing. You are the reason why we will never progress. Okay, I paid $20 just to call you a fucking cracker because you said that's
was
racist. What are you
diabolical.
gonna call me? Huh? What are you gonna call me?
I said you're a cracker. That'd be racist
Oh
towards
no,
you.
I'm hurt.
Well, that's you. Like
All
I
right.
said, it's not a big deal.
I'm
to
gonna
me.
drop you back down, Olive. Thank you so
I
much for
paid
coming up.
$20 for that. I hope you clip it. Thanks, Hector.
Fucking ridiculous, Olive. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I appreciate you. Alrighty. Where the fuck did we even leave out in this conversation?
I don't know, man. Listen, I am gonna.
Oh
get
yeah,
off.
you said
Go
that
ahead.
Renee Nicole
Sorry.
Good's girlfriend told her to run him over. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. Renee Nicole Good's girlfriend or wife, if I'm not mistaken, her partner, we'll just say that, never
Partner, that's fine.
ever said run him over. Ever.
The video I saw, she did.
No,
So
never happened. There is no video that isn't AI to where she says that. She literally tells
and
her
I'm
girlfriend,
sure, listen,
or she
I'm not
references
gonna
in the
disagree
video,
with you.
just to go. She says, just go. That's what she
Okay,
says.
all right, fine. Just go. And she ran over an officer.
No.
She
The
still
officer
attempted
was
to
never
run over
run
an
over.
officer. He was directly in front of the car, and he went to the hospital for injuries on his leg. Or else
Incorrect.
that was fake news as well.
It
But-
absolutely was.
Well, then that's great. But either way, he was in front of her, and
No,
she
he
tried
wouldn't
to
have
drive
been
the
in
car
front
that
of
was
her
actively
at all.
trying
Brother,
to
can I give my
run
opinion?
him
No,
over.
you cannot. You can shut up. We're not talking to you yet. This never happened, my guy. Ever.
All right.
What video are you talking about? That's why I really want to see it.
Listen, I swear to, I'll DM you the video. I just cannot look it up right now.
Can I give my opinion, please?
Guys, this is the problem with this country. This is the problem with Trump supporters. We're justifying murder of American citizens based off of foolishness
actively
that
tried to
do
run
not exist.
someone-
No, we're
That
justifying.
man never shut the fuck up, buddy. We're not talking to you yet. I'm about to get to you because this guess is a waste of time. Okay? We're justifying the murder of American citizens because a girlfriend would have said run her over. You guys know me. I like to play in worst case scenarios. I like to play devil's advocate. Let's say the girlfriend did say run him over. Let's say she did say that. The officer's own footage from his phone that he was recording her on when he was walking around the car, his own footage showed her turning the steering wheel in the opposite direction of the agent. So even if the girlfriend did say run him over, she wouldn't have listened to said girlfriend. And we can prove, no, I kicked him. Like literally, I should have kicked him after he was a bold-faced racist, but whatever. I'm a sucker for pain. The video showed the steering wheel turning in the complete opposite direction. So I don't see how you could have possibly tried to run him over when you're going in the opposite direction. Okay, for one. Number two, not a single angle, including his own, shows him getting hit by the vehicle. We don't even have proof of this medical report that he had internal bleeding or whatnot. That doesn't exist. So I love how you guys believe this shit and there's no fucking proof whatsoever. Anti-cases. Continue to tap the screen, guys. Let's get the likes up to 250K. 250K, and I think we can do so within the next, I'm going to say 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. Looks like we have our next guest here. Austin, did you vote for Trump? Austin, did you vote for Trump? I will invite you to unmute and give you 10 seconds to respond.
Yes.
Wonderful. Do you regret your vote?
No.
Why is that?
Because I feel like Trump has done a very okay job at what he's done so far in his presidential term. He might have made a few mistakes, and pretty big mistakes, I'd actually say. But he is, I feel like he's been doing a decent job with the border and deportation.
The border and deportation. How's he done a decent job with deportation?
I can explain if you guys let me.
So, like I was saying, he has done a decent job because he has deported people that should not be in this country because they came here illegally. Is it unhumane to deport people who are bringing in illegal substances and weapons into our country?
Can you tell me what number reflects the majority of people he's deported that's been these violent criminals that he's been referencing or said he deported? Because we have all evidence showing the contrary. Literally 70% of his deportations at least have been people with no criminal records whatsoever.
Even if they are not all illegal, well, not all bringing illegal substances into the United States, that does not change that they came here illegally and need to have their stuff come. They have to have their paperwork signed
determine if
to
they
come
came
to our
here
country.
illegally?
How do I determine? Well, that's why they have to show their paperwork before they get deported.
Show their paperwork before they get deported. What about instances where people show their paperwork, such as American-born birth certificates in American hospitals, and then the government alleges that it's forged?
Well, then you have to find a way to find evidence and prove to them that it was not forged.
So we're guilty until proven innocent?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But if
You
are
just said
accused of
they
being
have to
illegal-
find evidence and prove that their birth
Yes,
certificate
because that's
is
kind of how
not
the
forged.
world works. Yes, but that's kind of how the world
You
works.
said
Even
that over the
unfortunately-
U.S. government. No. You said that over the U.S. government, proving that your document was forged.
All right. If you have to prove that you aren't showing forged documents, obviously
The
if
government
they
needs
do,
to prove that your documents are forged before they even act on it.
and how many people do you believe are showing real papers and claiming that they're real, and then the government's just saying no, they're.
I am certain there are people that forge their documents, and that's why the government, if they're going to use this as grounds to deport people, would have to prove that you are not an American citizen and that your documents were forged. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he went. I didn't drop him. I don't know what happened. Your phone died or something. Come back up. Or you ran. I don't know. I'm not going to say you ran just yet. Maybe there was an error with TikTok. I didn't drop him. I don't know what happened. That's a crazy statement. I just want to make that super clear. That's a crazy statement. You have to prove that your American-born document isn't forged. Do you guys understand? This is the issue that I try to put forward, because you guys think this is only going to apply to the people it needs to apply to. This can happen to anyone. I can be picked up by ICE right now. Me, born here, raised here, American as fuck. I have all my papers, all my shit. I'm American. I can be picked up right now. And then the US government can say that certificate that you have where you were born in Brooklyn, that shit was fake. What the fuck can I do in that scenario? What can I do in that scenario? How am I supposed to prove otherwise that I was born here? If you look at the document that shows that I was born here and then you say it's fake, what the fuck else am I supposed to do at that point? And then I already put up a video. The last video on my profile, I think halfway through the video, shows a Trump supporter saying, "You don't look like you're born here." That's what someone told me to my face. I don't look like I'm born here. I don't know how you look like you're born in the United States, but that is the exact same logic that these kids are being hired in ICE agencies have. And that's what they're using to detain and try to deport people. Trump supporters, of course, up in the box here, the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call in the number on. No, I took the number off the screen. Give me a second. Bristol, did you vote for Trump?
No, sorry. I'm too young to be in this. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. All righty, buddy. I'm going to need you to go do your homework, please. Go do your homework. Let me read off some thank yous. Trump supporters get in the box. W's in the chat to Jared for the $1 Venmo. Scotty is as plain as an unsalted saltine, as disgusting as an unfrosted mini wheat. Friendly reminder, that was a white person who said it. That was a white person who said it. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to you, Jared. W's in the chat to Nikki for the $5 Venmo. I downloaded Venmo just to yell at that guy. I downloaded Venmo just to yell at that guy. Thank you for not putting my government name out there. That's diabolical, Nikki. Thank you so much. W's to you. W's in the chat to Maze for the $5 Venmo. Scotty is parentheses, almost, end parentheses, like carbon monoxide. Tasteless and colorless. I'd say odorless, but I know damn well he smells rank. Shit. God damn. God fucking damn it. God damn it, Maze. W's in chat to Amanda. Amanda, I saw you in the request and that he dropped out. For the $5 Venmo, I want to ask Trump supporters who argue that he's good at border control because he's deporting people who bring in substances, but then why did he pardon the former president of Honduras who was sentenced to 45 years for conspiring to import 400 tons of powder? Yeah, there's that one. They don't like to talk about that one. I find it super fascinating. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to you. Thank you guys so much to all the donors. Best way to support the platform is going to be links in the bio. Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App, and Venmo, PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the YouTube side, you may send a super chat and a super sticker. Make sure you hit the like button on the stream and subscribe as well. Turn on notification bells. W's in the chat to Kofa for the $1.99 super chat. Show the video. Yeah, he said he had to go anyway, but yeah, I was about to pull it up. The reason why I asked him to present something is because there's so many angles that was put forward. I don't remember what the exact first one that went on the internet was. I don't remember what that angle was. I think the first one was like a 58 seconds to a minute, and you heard like the Latino people in the background that were speaking over it. I think that was the first video. And that video, no, I'm stupid. I'm thinking about Alex Preddy. Never mind, I'm thinking about Alex Preddy. I think the first one was the angles from the witnesses that were watching. And that definitely didn't show him in front of the vehicle. That definitely didn't show her saying anything. We knew what she said based off of the officers, the agents' footage. So I thought that was interesting. I don't think he knew what he was talking about. Clearly. Any case, let me go ahead and I'll open up the phone lines now on the YouTube side since we're going to be slow on guests on TikTok. Now I'll open up the phone line. You may call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I have to turn it off whenever I have ops up and you guys still keep blowing up the phone lines. I don't know why you keeps doing that. Hector MAGA is the reason is good. Herpes isn't airborne. Jesus Christ. Sean, you are wild, my guy. You are wild, my guys. There's 813 people watching. Make sure that you hit that follow button if you're not following me. We are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Also, let's knock out this little finger hearts goal. We have 80 more of those to go. Consider becoming a fan club member by sending your daily heart me's upon following me as well. You get to use a couple free stickers that are super funny. I think I have to update a few of them anyway. I need to update a few of them. And check out the link for the best ways to support the platform, whether it's getting yourself some merchandise off my shop, following me on the other social medias, or subscribing because we're currently dual streaming to YouTube right now. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. Or donating directly to the links in the bio, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. You may do so. YouTubers, make sure you're subscribing and hitting the like button as well. We need to get those likes up to 100. What? Is it to go? Oh, he said he had to go. That last guy said he had to go. The family of John Huffines, who was endorsed by TPUSA, bought JE Texas Ranch Zorro in 2023. I don't know what any of that means, but it's probably not good. I'm going to assume that that's not good. Any cases, what was I looking up here? I did want to look a little bit more into the capital gains that we were talking about earlier. Let's see, because if I'm not mistaken, and again, it's been so long since I've done this, there was a 75 to 80% requirement. So if you had at least 75 to 80% of it in said assets that would be allowed to tax, that would be the threshold. So if you were under, you were fine. So all the government said, or the proposed tax plan said, was that if you have this much in those assets, you're trying to avoid paying taxes on them because these people allocate their shit all the time, and only pass this amount to where we can say this is a loophole you're trying to weaponize and we will tax the fuck out of you, which I thought was fine. So all the things people keep saying that's like, oh, they're going to get taxed too much and they don't make all this shit. All you have to do is sell a little bit or reallocate some things. Better yet, fuck you. Why are you trying to use all these loopholes to pay lesser taxes on the tax rate compared to the average American? That's the issue. Thank you so much, Adriana, for the money gun. I appreciate you. How about we just advocate for less loopholes? I have no problem with tax incentives to benefit corporations who help people, who better American economies, not just the rich, but the people who work under them. That's a good thing. Democrats actually try to do that. Trump just says, give them the tax cuts. I don't care what they do. I don't care how they do it. Which leads me to another thing I want to talk about when it comes to immigration. And actually, this is a criticism that I have of Democrats. I think oftentimes Democrats, when we're talking about immigration and being more humanitarian towards people who just want a better life, which is good, I think we can sometimes speak in a way that is ignorant to the fact that when they do come here, there are businesses, entities, corporations who will weaponize them for cheap labor. So Trump supporters now, because they realize that they're losing on the just draconian policies of the Trump administration, will utilize that in conversations. Democrats want people to be used as slaves. Have you guys caught that? Trump supporters are now bringing up slavery for once. Trump supporters are now talking about slavery when it comes to undocumented migrants, and then don't say a peep when it comes to black people, but I digress. So now they're saying you guys want them to be slaves so that way you can have cheaper groceries. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. So I think Democrats need to do a bit better job of acknowledging that when it comes to actual more aggressive enforcement, because essentially us saying that we would want less of them to come here until we revamp our system isn't sounding like Trump or co-signing what Trump says. It's simply saying we have an immigration problem where these people are being used, abused, and trafficked, and we need to address that before we just have more pouring in without the proper way to address them and give them the humanitarian aid that they need. I don't think that's like a controversial opinion. But the Trump administration, in their talking about fixing immigration, which they've never talked about fixing immigration, deporting people is not fixing immigration. When they talk about that, they never say a peep when Republicans at the head. I'm not talking about the voters. The voters put words in Trump's mouth and talk about slavery. But the heads of this administration, Trump supporters, DHS, Tom Homan, all these people, Kristi Noem, they never talk about the corporations that are hiring them. They never talk about penalizing these individuals that are paying them pennies on the dollar, not giving them health care or anything else, because they don't care. They don't care at all. So this humanitarian approach that Republicans are now trying to attempt to make when it comes to immigration does not exist on the higher level. Ultimately, it's just about deporting brown people who we think are bad, despite all evidence to the contrary showing that they're better. Like, if we're talking about legally, when it comes to crimes, they're better than you and I in so many ways. So many ways. We have a president problem? I mean, yeah, sure. What? No matter how you cut it, President Trump has done more to address multiple issues facing the USA. I would love for you to substantiate that, my guy. I really, really, really want to hear you substantiate that. The request box is open. Trump supporters request up in the box. I want to know what you think Donald Trump has done so well. I want to know what you think Donald Trump has addressed more than Kamala Harris did in her 2024 election, which you guys can't keep her fucking name out of your mouth. And lucky for you, I like talking about her. It's just interesting to me how you guys always do this. And no, I don't argue with the comments. I absolutely do not argue with the comments. Yes, listen to Shauna. Send your daily heart me's and make sure that you claim your points on the way down. Guys, you get points as a fan club member for sending your heart me's, sending gifts, commenting, becoming a super fan. You get points for all of that. So make sure that you claim it. Please make sure that you claim it. You get a bunch of good stuff. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over on this side here. No, I'm good. I'm good there. W's in the chat to Jared for the $1 Venmo. I'm in such a Hakuna McFuckit mood. This guest just needs to shut up and learn to understand facts. Oh, this was earlier. Got you. W's in the chat to you, Jared. W's in the chat to you. I don't know why they believe the things that they believe. A very important part of getting to this point in my life was understanding that a lot of the shit that I thought, one Google search debunked, or better yet, one Google search showed that I couldn't even prove it. And I'm at a point in my life where if I can't prove something, I don't believe it. I don't like to entertain conspiracy theories. I don't care to do any of that shit. It's just, if I can prove it, it matters. If I can't prove it, I don't give a fuck. But Trump supporters are just like, I heard. No, actually, my favorite thing for them to say is, I know an undocumented migrant who's like getting snapped, or I know an undocumented migrant who forged their documents, whatever the fuck their talking points are. And to me, it's like, when you've seen me do it a few times, I'll say, wouldn't you be an accessory to the crime they're committing? If you know these people, you guys remember that lady we spoke to a couple weeks ago? She said she knows people who get snapped and they're undocumented migrants, which is against the law since 1996. Okay. She says she'll know these people. And then I say, why don't you report them? And then she'll say, that's not my place. So I want to try something. Mind you, she said she was a Christian. So I want to try something here. Those of you in the chat, Christian or not, if you see someone committing a crime that harms people, wouldn't you have a responsibility to report that crime? Would you guys report that crime? I don't know about you, but if I saw someone scamming a good old person that's just trying to get by, I'd report the fuck out of them. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? But Trump supporters see all the crimes that we don't. They see the crimes that us liberal hive mind people don't see, and they do nothing about it. I think that's interesting. Mind you, this is the party of law and order. These are the people who voted for enforcement of the law. Isn't that crazy? I think that's actually diabolical. What was I supposed to do here? Looks like the Trump supporters, because, okay, fine. I'm going to make a deal with you guys. I'm going to make a deal with Trump supporters. Request up in the box, and I will allow you 2 minutes uninterrupted. Your opening statement will be uninterrupted for 2 minutes. I will set a timer. I will allow you to ramble with whatever nonsense you out without rebutting you for 2 minutes uninterrupted. Final offer. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to spout out whatever nonsense you have. I'm going to, where's my pen? I'm going to make notes of it. And make you look stupid after. But I'm going to give you 2 minutes uninterrupted to display your knowledge, your position, your stance on why Donald Trump is a good president. And then I will respond. Final offer. You got to request up in the box or call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. And you must do it within the next 3 to 5 minutes to seize this offer. Because after the 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to interrupt the fuck out of you every time you say stupid shit. So only for 2 minutes, and if you have to do it in the next 3 to 5. Oh, man, that's another complaint that I got. The YouTube comment section is super funny to me. They'll always say you don't let people talk. You guys remember the first guest. Every single time you asked him a specific question, he would pivot. He would never answer questions directly. And I'm like, how are we supposed to have a conversation if you're just jumping over hoops? You're jumping over everything that I say. The second guy was, well, a raging racist. The third guy, I guess, had something to do. Just crazy to me. And I see you guys in the comment section, so I'm going to start sending out those invites. There's an invite to you. And there's an invite to you. I really want to know. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. I really want to know. I really want to know. I don't let people ramble on with nonsense. I don't. Not only do I have to protect my platform because they do flag us with misinformation. Fun fact, we get flagged for the things that you guys say on the platform. Happens all the time. So I have a platform to protect. Not to mention, I can't sit in the room with someone who keeps saying 2 + 2 = 5 and just smile and go, why do you think that is? I can't fucking do it. I'm sorry. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. I feel like I'm losing brain cells if I let that happen. So yes, we rebut misinformation. We're fully prepared to tell you why what you're saying is misinformation and prove it. How many of you are willing to do the same with what we say? Like, I love how the second guest said, I don't believe Donald Trump is a racist. I think you lied on him being a racist. And then I presented him with something racist Donald Trump did. And he said, yeah, he's racist. That was racist. So I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then he tried to switch it over to the degrees of racism. The man switched to, well, he's not a full-blown racist. Anyway. All right, we're going to pull a Erica. Guys. Put your hashtags in the chat. Start putting your favorite hashtags in the chat. Hashtag MAGA. Hashtag Trump 2028. Hashtag Nussy. Hashtag Shut Up Piggy, or Quiet Piggy more so. Put your favorite hashtags in the chat. Let's see what that does. Those of you over on the YouTube side, the phone line is on. You may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. My moderators are on y'all's asses over here on YouTube. I am so tired of the complaints that I get after the live. Oh, I can't wait to talk to you. Oh, you're just lying. You're this, you're that. The number's right there. It's not on TikTok. We're talking to YouTube. The number's right there. You can call it in. Whatever your grievance is, whatever talking point you want to debunk that you think I'm lying about, call the number on screen. Thank you guys for the follows. How many follows am I at? I'm trying to get, guys, I'm on the road to 50K followers. Would greatly appreciate y'all's help in that. Thank you so much for following. And continue to double tap the screen. We have 701 people in here. Let's get the likes up to 300K, and I think we can do so within the next couple of minutes. Double tap that screen, show the algorithm want to be here. Make sure you're sharing out the live with your friends and family, reposting it, adding it to your story, doing all of the good things. And Erica and I are going to get a universal agreement where we can just use each other's sayings and we don't owe each other money. Because now she's been saying my thing, and I've been watching. I've been marking it down, bro. I got a tally too. Basket Weaver, Daddy Nussy, Let's Go Brandon. I haven't heard Let's Go Brandon in a while. I have not heard Let's Go Brandon in a hot minute. Thank you for setting your heart me. I appreciate you. I haven't heard that one in a hot minute. Not y'all being chicken shit. Ooh. Guys, really quick check. How many of you were watching Erica's live yesterday? Put a 1 in the chat if you were watching Erica's live yesterday. So I mentioned this to Erica and Shada. I said, we're going to talk about something when we have downtime. It looks like we have downtime. How many of you guys were watching her live yesterday? Oh, a good bit of you were there. Okay. Erica, if you have a minute, we're about to have some fun. We are about to have some fun. So we're going to use this downtime to talk about something super fucking funny. Just found you. Thank you so much. So I was co-hosting with Erica yesterday. She held a fantastic live, okay? And we had a guest come up. And this guest decided, after getting cooked, to make a post about Erica and I, okay? And I want to read it to you guys. I want to read this post to you guys because I think it's fucking hilarious. Thank you so much, Amanda, for the finger hearts. I appreciate you. 11 more, guys. Let's knock that out before I reset it. Do you guys remember the black lady? The black lady guest that came up? And she said that she was self-employed? Y'all remember her? She said that she thought Erica was professional. You guys remember her? Ashley says yes. Katie Bug says yes. Okay. Yes, yes. No, I didn't see her. Gretchen didn't see her. Looks like a good bit of you saw her. Okay. It won't let me click on the button to join the fan club. Oh, you following me? It should show up right there if you are. I'm not sure why that's happening. All right. So she made a post about us, and I want to read it to you guys. And I want to let you guys know what we're up against. I'm going to read this post after I reset this gift goal. Thank you guys so much for knocking that out. Also, make sure you're clicking on my gift gallery. Click on my name in the top left corner. Scroll down to the B4 gift gallery and knock out all the great things in there. Thank you guys so much. Let me pull up the post here, as this is quite literally one of the funniest fucking things ever. Where's the link? Where did I put it? Here it is. No! Hold on. I think she took it down. No fucking, hold on. No fucking way she took it down, bro. No fucking way she took it down. Oh, she made a new one. She took down the original and she made a new one. I guess she was trying to give it traction. Okay. All right. I have it here. Let's see what we got. Well, God damn it. Now we have a Trump supporter. We may have a Trump supporter. Hold, please. We'll get back to it. Carlos, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Wonderful. And do you regret your vote?
No.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because he's doing a couple of things that I asked for.
Name one of the things
and he's
that you
not
asked
trying. Well, one thing is not implementing socialist leaning policies, such as Kamala Harris was going to do, and as well as designating criminal organizations in Mexico as terrorists, which gives them free reign to fight them.
Can you name what socialist-leaning policy Kamala Harris put forward in the 2024 election?
She's going to give out $25,000 and try to give... She basically made statements, and I guess I only know one policy about the housing. She was going to start giving away money.
We can start with that.
To help with housing.
So,
and then, I mean, she basically... well, just let me make it clear, and then, I'll shut up.
Sure.
But she was... the difference between positive and negative rights?
Positive and negative rights? Yeah, sure.
Like, the difference, because she was proclaiming and promising positive rights, and America is built on negative rights.
Okay.
So that's already...
Can you tell me what the difference is between positive and negative rights?
Yeah, positive rights create duties, and negative rights only prohibit people from infringing on your rights.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Actually, I'm
I
gonna take that back. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm taking that back. I don't think I know what the fuck you're talking about. I thought I did. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. Negative rights restricts actions against a person, requiring others to abstain from interference. Positive rights are entitlements requiring the provisions of goods or services, often by the states, while negative rights protect freedom from coercion. Positive rights require resources and action.
Yeah, America was built on negative rights, which is small government. Positive rights require a larger government, which is socialist-leaning policies.
Okay.
So, if you're a socialist,
is the police force a positive right?
The police protects my private property.
Is the police force a positive right?
Is it a positive right? Well, we're paying for that service. It's a public service that we're paying for. They're protecting our negative rights. They're protecting our private property from people taking
But is it fair to say that they would be both?
No, because the police isn't building my home. The police isn't providing me water. The police doesn't come bring me groceries. The police doesn't come wipe my ass
Well,
for me.
again,
You understand what I'm
if the
saying?
positive right would include resources and action, we would allocate resources towards the police so they can act on protecting Americans.
Well, yeah, we need a security apparatus to at least enshrine our negative rights.
Okay.
But the negative rights, we're not putting hammers in the hands of cops and forcing doctors to give us medical care. That's not what we're
That
doing.
wouldn't be. I don't care. Okay, so you said you had an issue with the $25,000 towards Americans, right?
Yeah, that's a form of a positive right.
Okay, so
So that's an example.
you'd be against any and all forms of positive rights.
Yeah, I believe in small government.
Got
I need
you.
more. We don't need to be concentrating power in the government for these little fantasies that the left want.
Okay, who pays for firefighters?
Yeah, it's a social service, and I would advocate for privatizing all of the public sector.
You would advertise for privatizing firefighters?
I would advocate
Advocate.
for the privatization of all of the whole public sector.
How would
Yeah.
that work?
People can start their own firefighting companies, and then people could subscribe to that company service whenever you have a fire. they come,
Subscribing to a firefighter service.
I mean, it's not. I'm not. I mean, that's the best term that I could use. It's not. I'm not talking
So
about
if you
Netflix.
don't have the money to subscribe to a firefighter service, you just die in a fire?
Well, maybe they'll ask you for the money since you're so generous and such a good person. You know, since you're full of such virtue, maybe you'll pay for their firefighting service,
Are you
or you
Christian?
wouldn't do that. Yeah, I am Christian.
Would you argue that this country was in
Well,
part
why do you
founded
keep
off of?
changing the
I'm not.
goalposts?
I'm not. Would you argue that this country was based in part off of Christian principles?
Yeah.
Would you say those Christian principles?
Wait, are you Christian? Because I'm not gonna hear what Christian
No.
principles are from
No,
somebody that's not Christian.
I'm not a Christian.
Okay, then don't come talk to me
I'm
about
not a Christian. I'm better
principles
than a
if you're
Christian.
not even a Christian.
I'm not a Christian. I'm better than a Christian. So, if you agree that this country was built and founded off of Christian principles, and some of those Christian principles would have been implemented into certain policies like firefighters and people that would help Americans, why would you then want that taken away? Why would you want
it's not a giveaway.
Literally salvation from a burning fucking fire? Why would you want that to be privatized?
Well, first of all, we pay for that service, so
Exactly.
It's not
That
free.
would be a positive, what you call it that you mentioned earlier. Right?
So why the fuck would I listen to you?
Right?
First of all, second of all,
That
we
was-
already
I-
pay for.
you-
we
I
already
can't
pay-
hear you
okay,
when you
well,
teak
let
up.
me
So
finish.
your sentence literally started halfway through. Whenever you teak up, I can't hear you. Would firefighters be a positive right?
Yeah, that would be a
Okay.
positive right.
And the founding fathers and people who came after them thought that that was a necessary right. Thought that that was
It
something
says-
good for the country. Because
it says that. What part of the
requiring
Constitution
people
does it say that?
No, not the words I'm talking about specifically. I'm saying in its implementation
you're
based off the
saying the
protection of American citizens
You're
based off
saying-
of the
you're
Constitution that
saying-
values human life. We then thought it would be necessary not to charge people to get saved from a fire.
And where does it say that in
Oh
the
my
Constitution?
God. What did I just say?
Well, instead of using the Constitution and the founding fathers, just give me your.
I
own opinions.
literally can use the Constitution and the founding fathers
does
and
it-
how
okay, where
they
does it
built this
mention-
country
where does
and
it mention
planned
the
for its
oblig-
implementation of all these things that
Where
I'm
do-
proposing,
Okay, what
that they
part?
valued
What part?
life and they did not find it necessary to privatize basic human necessities such as getting saved from a fire. If you have the argument that they disagreed with what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to present some piece of evidence that is pro firefighter privatization. But I think you and I both know that would never be something even written in the Federalist fucking papers versus my argument of the Constitution protecting these individual rights,
Okay, what
civilities, and civil liberties and freedom.
Okay, what part does it say we're gonna ensure that everybody gets a firefighting service?
I literally never said that. Literally never said
Okay,
that.
then
so I don't know
you
why you
literally
keep
have
saying
no
that.
fucking
I don't know
point,
why you keep saying
because
that.
you're just-
so I'm
you're
going to
trying
ask
to
you this
twist-
question. I'm not going to ask you a question. You want something as simple as firefighters to be privatized. You want people to have to pay
Buddy,
to
I'm
have
cool.
individuals come over to their house
if
and get them out of
we
a
already
burning fire.
fucking pay.
And
We do
yes,
pay for that.
forced
We do pay
taxes
for
by
that.
the government, which you're against. You don't like the fact that a portion of our tax dollars goes towards saving people in fires. That's what you said.
I believe in everybody keeping their fucking
Yes,
money, and if they
got
choose,
you.
and if
So,
they look,
so,
yeah, let
so
me finish.
someone
the fucking
should
sentence.
die if
to,
they don't
how much
subscribe
money
to the
have you
firefighter
given-
service.
How much money have you given away?
So
to
someone should
firefighting
die
victims?
if they.
How much money have you given away to fire victims?
What?
How much money have you given away to people that have their house burned down in a fire? Since you give a fuck so much.
I literally host fundraisers. That's besides the point. Have
Oh,
you?
you held a fundraiser
Actually,
for
there's
what?
no point of asking that question because
What was
you
your
clearly don't give a
fundraiser
fuck
called?
about people dying.
What was your What was your fundraiser
Don't fucking
called?
worry about it. It's none of your goddamn business, bro.
Yeah,
You
well,
don't give a fuck,
you sound-
bro. You don't give a
you're
fuck. Hold
virtue-
on. You trying to make this
You're virtue-
humanitarian
yeah, I don't give a
argument?
fuck.
Yeah. I know you
give
don't.
a
I know you
fuck.
don't. Shut
Okay.
up. I don't even know why I entertained that. You're trying to make a humanitarian argument with me when you want people to die if they don't subscribe to a firefighter service. You want everything privatized. Every social benefit that we have in this country to protect people who may not be able to have the funds to do things, you don't like because you think positive actions are negative on the country, I guess. So why the fuck are you now arguing with me about my morality and what the fuck I've done for people? You don't give a fuck about people.
I think there's better ways to get people firefighting.
And the better way
services.
is for them to pay for a subscription service to firefighters.
Buddy, you act
Right?
like firefight. You okay?
Name the better
let's
way.
Get this.
Name the better
let's
way.
get this straight.
Name the better way.
Yeah, But we're gonna go first step. Let's get this straight.
Name the better way.
Firefighting services are not free. First of all,
No one said
everybody
they're
fucking
free.
pays.
Who the fuck said
Okay,
they're
well,
free?
you're saying, oh, you don't want people to get firefighting services? Bitch, we already pay for firefighting services, so we
Because
obviously are
the
gonna
government
receive them.
takes a
Second
portion
all-
of our
second of all,
taxes and it goes towards that service, which you're against. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm against anybody.
Oh,
that
wait.
wants
So
to
you're
create-
not against the government taking a portion of our taxes to go towards firefighters?
I guess I'm for minarchism. Yeah, we could say I'm for minarchism.
What the fuck does that
And
mean?
if
I have no idea what that means.
why are you on a fucking political economic? Like,
What does that
Are you
mean?
discussing
What does
politics
it
and
mean?
economics?
What does that word
mean?
mean?
It means small government. The minimal amount of
Well, I'm
government.
against
possible
small
for
government for
society.
one. I'm against small government for one. That specific terminology doesn't mean that I don't know what a small government is. Nice try, though. So, are you for the government taking a portion of our taxes to go towards firefighters to save
Yeah,
people?
that's fine. That's fine. There's bigger things to worry about than taxes.
I'm
for
sorry.
firefighters.
Did you not just say a couple minutes
Yeah,
ago?
I said I'd prefer not to because you're trying to.
So what
make
is the
me-
better
you're trying to
alternative
corner-
that you have?
You're trying to corner me into an extreme. So I'm.
What
gonna
is the
stand
better
by my
alternative that you
principles,
have?
Unlike you.
I'm not pointing you to
The
an
better
extreme.
al-
I'm asking you now what your
Yeah.
alternative
Okay.
is.
The better alternative is that we have a competing service in the economy, just like every fucking business in this whole economy can compete to offer a service for an individual.
Got you. So
Just
we
like
allow
security.
individuals to open up firefighter departments in certain regions, right? So in one county
people
with like
have-
1,000
you know,
people,
people do that
we can
already.
have like 16
people do
different
that already.
competing firefighter departments, right?
Yeah, what's wrong with people using their own resources to create a service?
And
to
how would they
offer
get
to
how would they
people?
get paid?
They fucking go door to door. They have a sales crew, and just like any company. Like, have you ran a business before?
Got you.
Why
Got
are
you.
you
Got
asking
you. So
these
got
dumb
you.
questions?
So
Like, it's
we
pretty
have a bunch of
self-explanatory.
firefighters,
Do you really want me to break
firefighter
down the whole
institutions
business, bro?
competing in a region for the business of the people in the region.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what
So they
happens
say, hey,
when
we'll come and give
someone
you a better
can't
response.
pay for the service?
Then you can start a fundraiser service for them. And
So
pay
then
for
you
it.
can start a fundraiser service for them. Okay.
You can.
Got you. Cool.
You, since you're
So
since you're so
want
full of virtue,
a portion
you can do it.
of my whatever to go towards fundraising for people to pay for a service to save their lives.
First of all, everybody is always gonna have to pay for fucking everything.
So
You realize that, right?
So I'm in a
What do you not
fire.
understand?
I'm in a fire.
I'm
I
for private property.
I call a firefighter service. Let's say 731-295. Please don't let me die. Okay, I call the service. I say, hey, I'm about to die in this fire. Can you come help me? And then they go, what is your name? Your name is Hector. Hector, we can't pull you up in the system here. Do you have a subscription with us? No, I don't have a subscription with you. Shucks, man. Well, we would like to send you out there, but you know, you don't have a subscription with us. We can this is fucking insane. We can direct you towards a community fund that was started for this service, and then you can call them, get a hold of them, and then if they're willing to take you on, or if they have the funds available to pay for this, then you can call back. By the time all of this is done,
Okay, look,
this motherfucker would be dead. I just want to point that out. By the time they're done, they would be
The
dead.
Mexican firefighters, buddy, if I call the Mexican firefighters right now across the border and I tell them my house is burning down, and they're obviously not gonna fucking come over here because I don't pay Mexico taxes. I pay the United States
What
taxes.
the fuck are you talking about, Mexico? What the fuck does that have to do with it? What?
I'm saying this is the absurdity of your argument. Obviously, you're not gonna receive a fucking service you didn't pay for. So yeah, if you got fucking cancer,
The
you don't
absurdity
wanna
of
pay
my
for-
argument.
Yeah, the absurdity of
What
your
is my
yes.
argument?
You're saying that it's absurd that people have to pay for stuff.
I'm saying it's absurd that we would stop a portion of our taxes going towards firefighters and put it on private institutions to control whether people live or die.
I already conceded to that argument.
You're
that
literally
was
going
not
back
even
to
on
it.
my priority.
You're literally going back to it. You
Okay,
said
well, we could just
if they
forget
cannot,
that. Yeah,
my guy,
we'll
no,
pay
we're not
taxes
forgetting
for
that because that's
fucking
one of the craziest
firefighters
fucking things I've
first.
ever heard in my entire life. If someone can't pay for this service, your solution was a
You
fund.
can fucking-
We should just start
okay,
a fund
perhaps-
for it. What if
okay,
people
look,
don't know
maybe-
what the fund is? What if they don't know the number to call? What if they don't know how to get a hold of it? What
Well, then
happens
they
when
need
the
to take
fund?
some more
What happens with the
Then they need to
self-responsibility?
take- yeah,
Self-responsibility? You're dying in a fire, and
heard
in that
about that
moment, you
word?
need to think to yourself, what could you have done not to end up in this fire?
Well, look. Let's do two scenarios. Obviously, there's gonna be a service that's gonna be an emergency service. If somebody doesn't already have,
Can we ask him WWJD?
Go ahead.
can you hear me?
Quite frankly, I'm done with this conversation.
gotta
You can
talk.
have fun, Amanda.
You can
This
have
is
fun.
fucking insane.
He's insane.
This is fucking insane.
He's the reason why so many people are moving away
Hold up.
from religion because of him.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Carlos. Oh my god. He was like, a woman? Fuck no.
Did he leave? Oh, he's back. I see you, Kit. 1 second. Oh, well, he left again. W's in the chat to Melanie for the $5 Venmo. Jesus would suplex Carlos. I'm not going to say he would do that, but that was funny. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Gucci for the $5 Venmo. I'm curious if Carlos thinks he's a good person. Of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he does.
Like, I just wanted to ask him, like, what does he think Jesus would do if he saw someone starving? Would he feed him or just say, do you have a subscription to a grocery store? You know? Christians are fake as fuck.
A subscription to firefighters. Listen, I've spoken to a lot of Trump supporters. And typically, where you can get them to concede or fall back on their arguments is when you bring up firefighters and other services that are taxpaying dollars pay for, and then they're like, well, that's fine. We're helping people. That's good. And then this guy is the first Trump supporter ever that I've heard say some crazy shit like what he just did.
Yeah, because it's not free. You have to pay for it. You understand that?
Carlos, it's like $50 a year. Calm yourself. And like,
It's $50 a year.
Hey.
You know how much tax?
your soul is black. Like, you are a terrible human being. And I have a question for you. What do you think Jesus would do if he saw someone starving?
You probably don't even believe in God, so don't talk to me about souls.
I can guarantee if there is a heaven and hell, I'm going to heaven way before you would.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Answer my question. What would Jesus do if he saw someone starving?
He would work for food and then pay for it and not shame other people for not giving away the fruits of their labor.
What? So this
Yeah,
is
because
no.
you know
Carlos, you obviously don't know your Bible.
Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Jesus not say, "Give away all your earthly possessions and follow me"?
He did. Yep, he did. And what did Jesus do when he saw
This that GOP Jesus, by the way. This that GOP Jesus. That's what that is. That's that GOP Jesus.
fully white Jesus?
He's talking about MAGA Jesus. This isn't canon Jesus at all.
No.
Yeah, because you guys are all Christians, huh?
Shut the fuck up. I know more about the Bible than
Hey,
you
shut
do.
up, bitch. Don't tell me to shut up.
Yeah,
You're the only bitch here,
You
Carlos.
see, the cute thing is, Carlos, is that when you're going to start that shit, I will take your fucking voice away on this panel. Do not speak to a woman like that up here.
Well, then,
Fuck you very much. No, you won't. That's really cute.
No.
You think you will, but you absolutely will not.
I love
If
you.
you're
Trump
going to
supporters
speak
request up in the
again,
box or call the number on
you
screen, bro.
do it-
Jesus Christ.
do it calmly and stop being a dick just because a woman is talking to you who's more educated than you are about things that you profess. Okay? Thanks.
And to be fair,
Please
Carlos
forgive me, oh great one.
Carlos is the only bitch on this panel, so let's be real.
That's a good comeback. Awesome. 10 out of 10.
So anyway, again, you didn't really answer, but you know that in the Bible, right, there's stories of Jesus. He washed the feet of the lowest in the society, right? He turned other things into food so that people could eat, right? Like he did everything he could to help people. He didn't. He said tax the rich. He said
He said tax the rich. No, he didn't.
Yes.
Well,
Yes, he
what
did.
verse? What verse?
I don't know offhand, but he did.
Yeah.
Say
Well, no, he didn't.
Jesus
Yeah,
advocated
I put
for
$100. You can't find that verse. I'll cash up it to you right now if you find it,
Okay, cool.
and then you can donate that to the
Jesus
firefighter fundraiser.
Jesus advocated for taxing the rich and for helping the poor, right?
Yeah, because you're the most versed Christian here, aren't you?
I know more than you do.
Well, then
Man,
pull
now
up
you
the
got
verse.
a flag. The fuck? Well, yeah, they got pissed. They got pissed at you, man. They literally reported Amanda. They literally
That's
reported
crazy.
Amanda.
I'm the one that crashed out on him, not her, but all right.
I mean, it's pretty simple. All I believe is don't take people's private property, and you want to just give it away.
I'm sorry.
Because you're such you're such a virtuous.
Let's go back to Kamala Harris because you said she was so socialist leaning. What policy did she put forward to take people's personal property?
It's called taxing more people to create a larger
Taxing more
government
people
welfare service
to help more people. How did that take away from people's personal private property?
So if I rob your money, then you tell the cop, hey,
Rob
he
your
took my
money.
property.
Rob
if I take your money, look, okay.
Here's the funny
so
part about
let's
your
just break it
entire
down.
argument. As you're
Are
sitting
we-
here
are you gonna
complaining about
fucking
things
allow me to
like
finish
Kamala
any
Harris's
sentence?
$25,000
Are you gonna
home
allow me to finish a
tax
sentence?
credit for first-time
Are you
home
gonna
buyers.
allow me to finish a sentence?
Not really, because I don't give a fuck what you have to say. As you're sitting here complaining about that,
Then
you
why-
had no energy whatsoever when Donald Trump would have proposed.
This is why
When Donald
leftists-
Trump would have proposed assistance for corporations. When Donald Trump would have proposed some of the
This is why
exact
you
same
lost,
things.
this is why
Donald
you
Trump
lost.
was
This
pro
is why you
small
lost,
business
'cause you
lending
can't
allegedly.
debate.
Donald Trump was pro all these other
leftists
things, and
cannot
he
debate.
doesn't mind giving money to corporations. But you have an issue when Kamala Harris proposes giving a portion of that money to the average American
I'm against
citizen.
Trump. I'm against Trump's giving
Also,
away
since you have an
to
issue with like
corporations as
socialism and
well.
communism, did you have an issue when Donald Trump ran off of forcing the government to pay for IVF?
What's IVF? The artificial insemination to create pregnancy.
That's not what IVF is. It's in vitro fertilization. It's not artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is IUI.
Okay, well, oh my God, I didn't know some arbitrary fucking operation. Yeah, I'm against any government action that is not voluntary.
Then
to
you
the
should have
people.
voted for Trump. Better yet, you sound like the kind of person who shouldn't vote at all.
Well, look, do you understand that there's degrees in this world, and some people?
Yeah, and according to your
obviously-
degrees, you
yeah,
shouldn't
and
vote for
Trump-
anyone ever. Every single
Do you even
one of
know
them,
how I'm
including
using
those
that?
of them on the Republican side, put
there's
forward
governments-
using taxpayer
governments that
funding to
exist-
pay for something.
Governments
Every
exist
single
in
one,
degrees.
including Donald Trump.
Obviously, yeah, Kamala Harris was definitely.
Ash, what do you have to say?
Donald Trump shit that he was gonna take on the U.S. is a less
Shut
of a.
up. Ash, what do you have to say?
Why the fuck?
Um,
You
yeah,
literally cannot debate.
I was just coming up to share a couple verses from the Bible because I heard him talking about what Jesus would do and Jesus working. So the five the bread and fish that Jesus used to feed the 5,000, how much work did he do for that? Do you know?
It was a miracle. Or do you
So
have any miracles up your sleeve for the housing market?
So you said that Jesus would work for it though. So he actually passed around a basket. They passed around a basket, and that's what they came up with, and he performed a miracle. There wasn't work; it was just spread around.
Yeah,
That
he
my dude is
actually.
not. That my dude is not work. That
So
you were
if
suggesting that
Jesus
he would
Christ
do.
wasn't there to turn back, nobody would have got finished. Oh, so that means he would
I can't even hear you,
the
bro. Your
fish
MAGA
to
mobile is
everybody.
cutting out. Maybe you should pay
So
for a
without
better
his
service.
effort, nothing would have happened.
Also, what work did Jesus do in the 3 years that he ministered to people? I'm curious. I think Jesus spent the last 3 years of his life staying in people's homes, walking from place to place, getting a lot of help from the people who liked him. I don't know what work Jesus did to make that mission possible. The man just literally told 12 people to follow me,
Okay,
and then we're
well,
going to
I'm
go
a
help folks.
libertarian.
So that's really crazy to me that you want to
Yeah,
talk about work.
well, the Bible isn't a book of economics, so yeah, obviously it's not going to translate
Oh,
perfectly to
the
an
Bible
economic
isn't a book
model.
of economics, but you said Jesus would have worked for
Yeah,
money and
it's
not taken
not.
anything from people and done all this other thing. So you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, because Jesus wouldn't steal from people. Obviously, would he?
Sounds like you shouldn't vote.
Would Jesus steal? Would Jesus
Like, I
steal
just
from
feel like we just
somebody?
keep going back to the fact that you shouldn't vote. Because
How
if you
about
believe that
instead of
taxation
throwing
is
ad
theft,
hominems,
then you should not
how
vote
about you
for
just
any
address
president
my
ever.
argument
In fact, you
directly?
have an issue
How
with
about
the
you just
entirety
address my
of the
argument
American
directly?
tax system as a whole.
How about you just address the argument directly instead of pivoting like a little pussy?
I'm sorry, what did I pivot from?
Address the argument directly. You want
What
to talk about
argument?
Jesus?
You've made no
Would
argument.
Jesus steal from people? I'm asking you a fucking question, dumbass.
Would Jesus steal
steal
from
from
people?
people to give it to others? Would
No,
Jesus
instead
steal
he would
from the
flip
masses
tables
to
from the
give it
people
to
who are
others?
robbing folks.
So Jesus
Yeah,
actually
the
went to
money
the
changers.
Jesus went to the temple. He actually he flipped tables because there were people in the church robbing the poor and taking advantage of the poor. He also had Zacchaeus, who was actually doing legal things for a tax collector because that's what tax collectors did, and had
Because
Zacchaeus.
there was Jews in the temple performing usury because they were giving loans out in a sacred temple
It wasn't
and
loans.
rob.
It wasn't just
I'm not
loans
doing
that they were
this
doing.
anymore. I'm
Anyway,
not. He's trying to go down the Jewish route. I'm not doing it, bro.
yeah. Bless his heart. Anyway, I heard him talking about the stuff, and I was like, I've got to go request up. So I'm going to go back down into the
As
audience.
as a non-Christian,
much,
you're my
Ash.
favorite Pastor Ash.
Love you.
Appreciate you coming up. Kit, anything else?
No, I just was gonna try to get to disability services, but that wasn't going fucking anywhere. So I decided to yell at him for his bullshit behavior to Amanda. That's
Oh yeah,
all.
I guess we can do a disability service. You know, for $75 a month, you can get all the care that you need. If you can't afford it, I guess you get no ramps. I don't fucking know. Yeah.
Right, because my kids asked to be born with the disabilities that they have, and I was totally prepared for all of the extra needs that they have, and that's how all that works, right? It's fine.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming up, Kit. Whew. That was crazy. That was crazy. W's in the chat to Trisha for the $5 Venmo. I'm with Erica. Where do you find these guests, Hector? New update. There were children left behind. Erica's a propagandist. W's in the chat to Melanie for the $5 Venmo. I bet Carlos' mom took a maternity test when he was born. W's in the chat to Maze for the $1 Venmo. I bet Carlos is 5'5". I'd bet money on that, actually. I bet money he's no taller than 5'7". I'd bet money that he's no taller than 5'7". I'm not gonna lie, I'd bet money on that. Absolutely, I would bet money on that. Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Quick recap of the guests, and then we're going to do the thing we were supposed to do before his stupid ass came up. I have a problem with socialist-leaning policies. I'm going to ignore all of the socialist-leaning policies that Donald Trump has put forward or that he upholds and only focus on the ones that come from the black woman. I want everything to be privatized, including your life being saved by emergency services that we would all pay taxes into. And then I want the responsibility of said thing to be put on individuals versus our government, whose literal foundation is built off of, allegedly, protecting American citizens. What a weird stance to have. What a weird stance to have. Parable of the sower? Yeah. What a weird fucking stance to have. Guys, if you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Also consider sending your daily heartbeats or becoming a fan club member if you're not already. Knock out the fan club gifts. I believe it's the yellow heart that says Hectua. Send a bunch of those. It helps us. I don't know what the fuck it does, but it helps. Knock out the gift goals here. We do have 92 more of the Dolphins left. So go ahead and knock that goal out. If you want to support the platform on the TikTok fashion, you can check my name, scroll down to the B4 gift gallery, and then knock out all the great gifts in there. And then check out the links in the bio to follow me on the other social media platforms. Getting yourself something off of the shop or donating directly to the links in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Make sure you hit the like button over there and also subscribe. Turn on notification bells. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Shauna, for the Dolphins. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Nikki. W's to y'all. W's to y'all. Yeah. I really wasn't going to make much else arguments with him other than the fact that you completely ignored Trump's socialist communist policies and you only care about Kamala, who wants to help people. Which actually really, that perfectly surmounted what Trump supporters are or what they're about. They don't care about people. They don't care about aids and services that help people. They just want it all defunded. They want everything to be left up to corporations, as if the corporations, they actually think corporations are going to do a better job of protecting us. Corporations have one commitment, and that's profit. The government doesn't have a goal of profit. Although under the Trump administration, they try. What's going on, Yelly? The government's job is not to make the most money. The government's job is to protect Americans, right? And keep the institution alive. That's their job. Corporations have one responsibility, and that's to make as much money as possible. Capitalism. That's it. And then we're supposed to use these profit-driven companies to think that they're going to do a better job at protecting us than the government. I think that's fucking crazy. Everyone seems to forget all the reasons why we have the laws and the enforcement and the regulations that we do now. There was a time where before this, companies thought they can treat you like shit, and they still do. Let's be clear. It's still legalized, basically. But it used to be worse. And then the government stepped in and said, you need to give them minimum this type of healthcare. You need to give them this. You need to do this. Minimum wage, so on and so forth. That was the government's job. Corporations didn't come together and decide to do better by us. The government made them. So have all the issues that you want with the corruption in the government. I would agree with you. But it wasn't the corporations who decided to do better by us. Just to point that out. Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. It looks like y'all got really slow with the taps. There's 645 of you in here. I need you to double tap that screen. If all of you do so until the hard bar gets full, we can easily get up to 300,000 likes at least within the next 10 minutes. Show the algorithm that you want to be here. Your taps are super important. Engage with the engagement. Keep doing all the things. Let's see. Hold on. What am I missing here? I think now's a great opportunity. We're gonna go back to the. We're gonna go back to the post that I wanted to read. I just want to put it up on the screen. Can you explain the Abraham Amendment? The Abraham Amendment? Are you referencing the 13th Amendment? Hey, Aaron, you're spamming. If you want to pick
God
up on his
bless you.
stupid ass conversation as a Trump supporter, you can request up. Carlos is not coming back up here. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hold on here. All right, I'm gonna put this up on the screen. Make sure it's on there. Okay, I don't think you guys can read that, to be fair. Hold on. But this is the post. Okay? That was made by this Diane D. Ball lady, who for some reason is still following me. Okay? And we're gonna read it. How clearly can you guys see that? I know YouTube, I know you can't. But how clearly can the rest of you see that? Are you able to read anything, or do I need to like crop it and make it bigger? I think she deleted my comment. I didn't know you made a comment. Can't read it? Okay, I got it. Okay. So I'm just going to do this. We're just going to do that. That should be more readable. Okay? We're going to have some fun here. This is the post. The title of this thing here, the title of it is Never Debate Without the Filing Status. Okay? Never debate without the filing status. Okay? All right. Mods, just look out in the request if anyone comes up, please. Thank you. This is Erica Shante. I just want to let you guys know that the first half of this is going to frustrate the fuck out of me, because I'm not going to say I'm a grammar Yahtzee, as they call them, but at the same time, I do think if you're going to put something up on like social media for like hundreds of thousands of people to see, you should probably know how to spell. Just my opinion. Anyway, here we go. This is Erica Shante. I have entered her live 3 times and her topics have always been about Trump. I don't know why Trump supporters complain about us talking about the president of the United States. Why does Fox News talk about Trump every day? Answer that. I found her live because Hector Talks BBN. I follow him. I first admired Erica because she appeared professional. You know I admire professionalism, well-spoken individuals. That is one sentence that's supposed to say, you know I admire professional, well-spoken individuals. So I thought I will go on her panel. I think it would be Wood. Anyway. Finally, I get on the panel. Erica, why is it when I come on your live, people in chat are kicking me out for speaking about the topic? Friendly reminder, Trump supporters, when we host a live such as Erica's that says, why are you still supporting Trump? We don't allow you to yap inside the club. You're going to yap outside the club. Get up in the box. You guys are keyboard warriors, and we don't like that. So we will silence the fuck out of you until you come up, which is exactly what she did. So clearly it worked. You know I admire professionalism tells me all I need to know. Okay, here we go. Erica topic is, it will be Erica's, and then you would put the never mind. Why are you still supporting Trump? There would be a quotation mark there for the title. My question is, why not? Of course, because you guys can't answer questions directly, so you have to answer our questions with a question. That makes sense. So she asked, why are you supporting Trump before I answer your question? I admire his ideologies, his policies. Wouldn't that be and? If you were to put that, you would remove the comma and you say, I admire his ideologies and. So anyway. And then I list climate, immigration, welfare, etc. Erica says, Trump does not have a climate policy. What he does is he takes existing policies and after rollback, once he reverse, which is a word she did not use, a policy signs into law. What? Okay. First and foremost, Erica wasn't the one that said that he does not have a climate policy. I am the one who did. There's that. But I don't know what the fuck this means. We're going to read this again. Erica says, comma, Trump does not have a climate policy, period. What he does is, comma, he takes existing policies and alter, comma, roll back, ... space, Once, capital O for some reason, he reverse, comma, which is a word she did not use, comma, a policy, comma, signs into law, comma, it becomes his. I know for a fact Erica didn't say whatever the fuck this was. Erica didn't say none of this shit, okay? But anyways, so the One Big Beautiful Bill climate policy was signed July 2025. He reversed a lot of ideologies. I want to go back to the first line of this paragraph. Erica says Trump does not have a climate policy. It was me. She follows up by saying the One Big Beautiful Bill climate policy was signed July. He reversed a lot of ideologies. I don't know how one reverses an ideology, but if you're referring to quote unquote climate policies, his reversal of the climate policies would not be a climate policy. Okay? Anyways, then she went on to talk about why I shouldn't support Trump. She mentioned federal workers and DEI. One question she forgot to ask, what is your filing status? Once you get my filing status, then you answer the question relating to my household. This is where her argument fell apart. She became irate and rude. What does your filing status, especially if you're specifically talking about federal workers, so your filing status would be as a federal employee, W-2, or a contractor, what does your filing status have to do with the layoffs that the Trump administration put forward? And specifically from what I remember with this topic, Erica mentioned, because they're both black women, how black women were the ones who were negatively impacted by the reversal of DEI policies and the layoff that the Trump administration put forward. So there's that. Okay, there's that. Anyways, Erica Professionalism suggested, what the fuck does... Erica Professionalism suggested she does not have to have decorum on TikTok. Yet, she contradicted herself, wanting me to not be obtuse. I remember Erica mentioning I don't have to be like, or have decorum or whatever, which, if you guys don't know, it's tough oftentimes when they're trying to tone police us and we say we get to talk how the fuck we want on our goddamn platforms. I don't see where she would have contradicted herself by saying don't be obtuse. I don't think obtuse would be a factor of a lack of professionalism, but okay, it's fine. Erica reprimand behavior the moment I said Schedule C. I cannot discuss federal workers, DEI, or what Biden did. I cannot relate. What? What? My business suffered under Biden. Before I can finish, she interrupted me. I expressed to her that when she spoke, I said nothing. I just took notes. That's a lie. She did interrupt Erica several times. Also, she didn't articulate how her business suffered under Biden in a way that Biden would have directly impacted. Because I can say I suffered under Trump. She forgot that federal workers were offered millions to resign, no welfare or homelessness. I don't... Oh my God. Yes, some of these employees were given several severance packages. Not every single federal worker was given a severance package. And then the ones that wouldn't have would still have to get on, say, the welfare program that you'd be talking about, such as unemployment and stuff. So there's that. Those who did not want to resign were offered a severance. Okay, you're just repeating yourself. What the fuck is this? Lower paid workers received unemployment and a right to find another minimum wage job. That's correct. You had the right to go get you another job. Had she asked, How do you feel about Trump removing DEI so white men could dominate again? I'm guessing that's what she asked, and I know that's not how she worded it, but okay. I feel nothing because it is not my career. There's the selfishness we all know and love. Of course we know that you don't give a fuck about anyone else and how Donald Trump negatively impacts them. Of course we know that. That makes sense. Took you forever to get to it. You're a selfish fuck. We know. But if I had a family member or friend working for the federal government, I might be concerned. I would speak with them about laws. So maybe I would give a fuck if a family member was personally affected, but then I would just tell them the laws. The ones that Donald Trump would be, disregarding. Laws are helping a lot right now. Good for you. In addition, finding other employment. The right to find another job. Don't forget that one. The rights to find another job. What's stopping you from finding another job, guys? This part gets crazy, guys. This part gets really fucking crazy. Brace yourselves. She mentioned Walmart and Target. Target has never hired on blacks. They were mixed race. Glad they got rid of blacks at glad they got rid of blacks at Walmart. Too ghetto. I'm going to read that again. She mentioned Walmart and Target. Yes, she was referencing these companies that did away with their DEI policies. Target has never hired on blacks. They were mixed race. If they were biracial and one of their parents were black, that would be black. Glad they got rid of blacks at Walmart. Too ghetto. The last time I was at Walmart was 2 weeks ago. I saw some black people in there. So I don't know what happened there, I guess. I retired from corporate 2018. Trump reversed the Frank Dobbs Act. I was able to establish my own... I'm sorry, what is the correlate? What was it? I was able to establish my own tax and accounting EIN and did deliveries. Did the Frank Dobbs Act stop you from doing this? Is this on Reddit? Someone should put it on Reddit. No, this is on TikTok. This is a post that this person made on TikTok after the debate. When Biden got in office, the monies made under Trump, I had to utilize under Biden. Okay. He let so many immigrants in, I didn't make any money delivering. And then I said this when I was talking to someone about it last night. I made the most money doing deliveries under the Biden-Harris administration. So I don't know how immigrants fucked with your money, but they would have helped me, I guess, because I made more money with all these immigrants flooding the country, quote unquote. Now, since immigrants are gone, they are calling us to work. We don't even know what she does at this point. The most she said is that she did deliveries. DoorDash and Uber ain't calling nobody to do deliveries. What the fuck are we talking about here? When they paid immigrants $2 and $3, again, delivery services are not paying you $2 and $3. I mean, if you want to say like the base Uber payment, I can speak for Texas at least, is $3.82 for like a super short trip. That's the lowest you get paid for a trip. That's anyway. So deporting 600K and millions took the 1,000 settlement and left. I have no confirmation whatsoever that any of the undocumented migrants that self-deported made $1,000. Plus, I would also disagree with us paying immigrants to self-deport. That's fucking insane. I am not opposed to his immigration executive orders. Guys, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of this whole post. So lock in. This is my favorite part. Also, double tap the screen, guys. Let's get the likes up to 400K. Get the likes up to 400K. Tap the screen as you're listening to this, okay? The climate control policies in Texas are falls were summer, winters are spring. People were furious when the winter storm came and nothing. Some areas of Texas lights went off, but it was not worse like 2021. Partially because of drilling from Texas to Canada. During the Christmas and New Year holiday, the drillers were in Mexico moving back to Texas. Y'all, Y'all, the climate control policies in Texas are falls were summer, winters are spring. Is Diane D. Ball alleging that the climate control, I'm doing quotation marks, the climate control policies of the Trump administration fucked up the weather in Texas because of the climate control policies of Biden Harris? Texas weather is out of control. They're doing things that are making our summers hotter and our winters colder. Or better yet, in her words, our falls are now summers and our winters are now spring. Them goddamn Democrats controlling the weather. Damn Democrats putting those extra clouds in the sky when I wanted to see the sun. Damn Democrats making it flood here in Texas and fucking up my garden. Damn Democrats making it snow in March. Fuck them Democrats for controlling the weather. This is batshit. This is fucking batshit. This person is not well. And then the next part, we're going to read this over again. Some areas of Texas lights went off, but it was not worse like 2021, partially because of drilling from Texas to Canada. Drilling made the weather better. Drilling evened out the weather, okay? The more we drill, the better the weather is. So we know when drilling happens, the climate shifts. So now no one can say that I made that correlation. She just did. So we know when drilling happens, the climate shifts. This worked out for me because the weather is good. Welfare recipients are paying their own taxes. The Dollar Tree is employing a lot of recipients. I just want to point out that these people can vote. And while these people are voting, there's some leftists sitting at home excusing their vote. While these people are going to the polls, in some cases every year for special elections, every midterms, every federal election, there's some leftist sitting somewhere saying two sides of the same bird. Anyways, welfare recipients are paying their own taxes. The Dollar Tree is employing a lot of recipients. God does not like abortions or gender change. What God designed is what he meant, because we can't possibly end this without a little bit of transphobia. We can't possibly do that without the transphobia. The Bible says homosexuality is the worst sin because it is abomination. I've read the Bible 2 times over. I have yet to find a single verse in the Bible that says homosexuality is the worst sin. In fact, the worst sin as described in the Bible is blasphemy against the Holy Ghost. Look it up. Those of you who are not biblical people, look it up. The Bible says the worst sin is blasphemy against the Holy Ghost or Spirit, whatever. So there's that. So I'm not opposed to any of what Trump did, which again, Trump didn't attack gay people, to be fair. It's trans people. Protecting Israel, Zionists, makes sense. Making foreign countries pay their portion of taxes. I would love to know how that works. Collecting tariffs. Oh, I think that would be what you're referencing. Giving tariffs to consumers and farmers is the right thing to do. Giving tariffs to consumers and farmers is the right thing to do. Now we're at the end. That's the last part. So when we put tariffs on other countries that negatively impact the farmers, and then we just have to bail them out from how we fuck them over, that's good. And I would love to know what tariff revenue is going to consumers. I really want to hear about that policy. With that being said, Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. These are the people that we are up against on a daily basis. Hi, Shauna.
Hola. So the crazy thing is that she deleted it not for engagement. She tried to fix it and run it through ChatGPT, and it was still shit. Her grammar, the run-on sentences, because it was it was the same but different. I compared it when I screen recorded both.
I did notice some of the errors that she made yesterday were changed today, which I find to be fascinating. How you corrected it and it still came out like shit. That is diabolical.
I commented on the new one, Holy Grammar Batman, but I don't know if she deleted it or not because I didn't see it. Because I'm petty.
I was about to wait. Hold on. Let me go back. There's no comment. She would have deleted it.
She deleted it. How professional of her.
Yes. How professionalism of her. Very
Okay, I just wanted to say
professionalism.
that piece. I'm going to drop down.
All right. Appreciate you coming up.
Bye.
Anyway, professionalism is getting to your point quickly, and I respect that part. Alrighty. We're going to do this final call. I wasn't quite ready to end, but it doesn't look like the Trump supporters are going to be coming up anymore. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. That's 737-295-5321. Pretty sure I have the phone number working. Yes, I do. So yes, that is available to you. Don't put it in the chat and don't send texts, because you can send text to Google Voice and stuff. These people will leave me voicemails and then send text, and then times like now they won't call in the number. It's weird. It's really weird. Do all the things, guys. 523 people in here. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We're on the road to 50K followers. We are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Also, send your daily heart me's upon doing so. Consider becoming a fan club member. Knock out the little goal that we have here for gifts. We just need 23 more dolphins to clear that. So send those dolphins if you can. Check out my name. When you click on it in the top left corner, you scroll down to the B4 gift gallery. We have a couple grayed out gifts in the gift gallery. Super important that you support your favorite creators by clearing their gift gallery every single week. The algorithm recognizes you more, helps push you out in the FYP. So we always try to get that done as soon as possible. So I appreciate everyone who would like to donate there. And thank you to the people who already have. Share out the live with your friends and family, repost it, add it to your story. I know you know someone who needs to hear this information. Better yet, you may have a pet op or a family member who absolutely needs to hear what I have to say here. And then finally, check the links in the bio for the best ways to support the platform, whether it's following me on the other social media platforms, joining the Discord community, which we're over 600 members strong, getting yourself some merchandise off of the shop that we have available on TikTok Shop and in the link, or donating directly to the links in the bio via Cash App or PayPal at Hector Talks with 2 R's. Cash App and Venmo, Hector Talks with 2 R's. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. We would greatly appreciate it. It takes a lot to do this, and I thank every single one of you who help us do it almost every day. If you're over on the tube side, welcome in. Hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. Subscribe and turn on notification bells. If you would like to support the stream, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. No, I don't want to link it. I don't want y'all going to the post to like bother her and stuff. I think the post was embarrassing in and of itself. I don't want anyone bullying her. That's not the purpose of us reading that live. It's the fact that these are the people that will come up and try to argue with us that we don't know what we're talking about. Sis said that Democrats tried to control the weather, and that's why our summers are fucked. Despite decades of evidence that shows that we're the ones screwing up the planet. We are the ones making the weather worse. That drilling, which she said corrected the weather abnormalities, is what is actually causing some of these issues that we have. Absolutely insane, guys.
God bless you.
Absolutely insane. Thank you so much, Valerie, for the galaxy. I appreciate you. WCU for the galaxy. I think that's one of the gifts in the gift gallery, or I think you have to send 2, and someone sent one earlier. WCU, Valerie. Thank you so much. So yeah. Shit's crazy out here, y'all. Shit's crazy out here. How many likes do we have over here on the tube side? Oh, we are over 100. WCU, guys. Thank you so much for liking the stream. Continue to do so. She means fracking. Yeah. That's literally what she means. I wonder what their algo is feeding them. If you've ever been on the Trump side of any algorithm, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. You get a lot of AI videos. You get a lot of memes. Their news are memes, not sources and articles. Trump supporters' news are memes. You'll get a lot of racism, obviously. Shit talking Obama, them calling Michelle like a horse face and all this stupid shit. Ton of that. You're also going to get a large portion of really strange images of Kamala Harris being depicted in particular positions, and Hillary Clinton. They love to form photos of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris doing their wettest dreams on Trump. It's very strange. It's very disgusting. Very fucking disgusting. I'm saying this as someone who's had a burner account on a particular social media site that I often go to for stuff. And I know people who do deep dives into, like specifically with X, the Republican side of X. That's all I can say on that. And they will send me screenshots of what happens in these spaces. Let's just say Kash Patel is sending FBI agents door to door to people who say things like from the river to the sea, or ICE is a terrorist group. They really need to be sending agents to some of these fuckers' doors for the stuff that they say and they do. Literal threats against these officials' lives mean nothing to them. It's very super fascinating. It's very super fascinating. They're literally just jealous of these women. I don't know what it is. Actually, I want to talk about that. I was in Joey's live earlier and I saw a comment that was, I don't even know what to say about it. The comment said, Kamala Harris, the reason why Kamala Harris lost was because Kamala Harris ran off of rights for women instead of rights for everyone. Real shit. They said Kamala Harris ran off of rights for women and not for everyone, and that's why she lost. Now, I can't think of a single policy that Kamala Harris put forward when it comes to civil rights enforcement and anything else that would only apply to women. Right? Better yet, a woman putting a focus on more women-based policies, which I disagree with that vehemently. But a woman put more of a focus on women-based policies that every fucking man before her, for the most part, did not prioritize in that fashion, is a bad thing to Trump supporters. Women's upliftment, women's protection, women's betterment in the United States is a negative to Trump supporters. Trump supporters actually believe, a large portion of them, I won't say all, but they actually believe that a vote for Kamala Harris was a vote for only women. That you as a man would have been put down on the pyramid if you voted for her. Can you imagine what it's like to have that mindset? Can you imagine what it's like to walk around thinking that you're a victim of women because of the left and wokeness? Imagine what a sad existence that is. That you look at a woman and you feel threatened. It's fucking weird. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory fashion. Obviously, women can threaten you. I'm saying these people see women, let's say black women specifically, being the highest educated and holding the most degrees. There are black men who see that as a threat. The gender wage gap seeing improvements as of 2021, closing that gap from the is it 70 something cents? I think it's 70 something cents for every dollar a man makes, and then it's moving upwards. We'll just go with that number. We'll start with that number. That gap is somewhat closing, particularly with white women, but it's closing. They see that as a threat. They walk into buildings where they see more women employed, and they see that as a threat. Imagine that. And then they'll follow up by saying they love women. No, you love fucking them. That's what you love. You don't care about anything else outside of what they're good for on your dick. That's all you care about. I said what I said. 77 to $1. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I want to present you guys. I just want to present you guys something. Women, the givers of life, the backbones of this country or the world. If women are doing better, men are doing better. Just want to point that out. If women are doing better, men are doing better. If my mother's doing better, if my sister's doing better, if my girlfriends are doing better, if my aunts are doing better, I'm doing better. The world's doing better. And if you see that as a threat to you, you're a weak ass little bitch. If you actually think Kamala Harris had some preferential treatment to women in the last election, wherever, as an attorney general, a United States senator, a district attorney, a prosecutor, you're a weak ass little bitch. And last I checked, you said that you voted for Trump because you're a strong man. And that's not the actions of strong men. I'm tired of rambling. We're not going to end the stream at least until we get to 400K likes. And that's where we're going to wrap it up and see if we can get some Trump supporters in here. But we got to get to 400K likes first. Guys, double tap that screen. And I need to get dinner. Double tap that screen, guys. Double tap that screen. Show the algorithm want to be here. I know I have my super tappers in here. Y'all getting lazy. I know I have my super tappers in here. Super tap that screen, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. See, more people whining in the comments. More people whining in the fucking comments. Thank you, Random, for the 10 jewels. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Just a bunch of chirpers, man. Jesus Christ. This men are embarrassing. Men are embarrassing. Then y'all complain when they choose the bear. How many of you guys are following me on Instagram? Exact same username, Hector Talks with 2 R's. Make sure that you go over there and follow me on Instagram. We are working on dual streaming to Instagram as well. So in a couple of weeks, when you guys see me here and you see me on YouTube, I will also be live streaming on Instagram. So tune into that. Make sure you tune into that. Thank you so much for the Dolphins. I appreciate you, Shantimo and Blue Canary, everyone else. Taps is what I'm looking for. Taps is what I'm looking for. Double tap the screen, guys. Let's get the taps up. Let's do this game. I need to see 10K taps every 3 minutes. You guys have 3 minutes to get the likes up to 365K. 3 minutes to get the likes up to 365K. Okay? Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yes, make sure you're following me on the Instagram. That is available in the link in my bio, but also it's the exact same username as here. Hector Talks with 2 R's. Make sure you subscribe to me on the YouTube. Exact same username. Hector Talks with 2 R's. I am going on to 50,000 followers here, and we only have 2.5 or about 2.5 on YouTube. We just need those people to transfer over there and support the stream in that fashion. So make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube and following the Instagram just as much as you're following me here. I was thinking about getting a Blue Sky again. I kind of don't want to. I'm not really the kind of person that just tweets stuff on the fly. I see some information and I talk about it in live, or I'll break down and make a video about it. So I don't think I'm going to do that. That's not my thing. I've never liked the concept of like X and like posting every fucking thing on your mind or things on the fly, because that's how a lot of misinformation gets spread too. Also, I gave y'all 3 minutes and y'all did it in 1. That's how I know y'all are playing me. Now double tap the screen, get the likes up to 375K. Y'all have 3 minutes to do that. Yeah, I don't like the immediate information being put out from the likes of some of the people that put it out. I'm not going to mention names because it's like, in certain cases, it's too early to know what's what. It's way too early to know what's what. I cannot stand that format. I refuse to be that person. I think it could be necessary to some degree, like just knowing, just being aware, but it's more so you put certain things out there very early and then everyone runs with it, and then a lot of misinformation comes about. And then the initial post always goes infinitely further than the correction afterwards. By the time the initial post gets millions of views and is found to be false, the correction gets 10K. It's not broadcasted the same way. That's one of my issues with that style of news. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Y'all doing a mod strike? Why are we doing a mod strike? Why are we doing a mod strike? What the fuck y'all talking about? I don't know if I want to because you insulted my taps. If you're tapping, you're not the demographic of people that I'm talking about. It's you fucking freeloaders. You fucking freeloaders, okay? Y'all can't be watching my damn lives and not tapping the screen. Especially if you're not donating. I'll have paid $20 just to call somebody a cracker. And the least y'all can't do is tap the screen? That's crazy. I'll have paid $20 just to call someone a cracker. And the least y'all can do is tap the screen. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh, man. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm not following you on Instagram? Do better, Faye. Do better. If I get carpal tunnel, I'm suing. First off, what are y'all doing when you tap? You don't have to tap hard. Like, it's just a little, right? And you just kind of keep that momentum going. You shouldn't be doing that, bro. Don't do that. Just a light tap. Keep it rapid. That's all. That's at least a 40 dono. That's hilarious. I'm very good at tapping. Oh, I bet you are, Joey. I bet you are. I bet you are. Actually, this would be a perfect time. Where's Mel? Is Mel here? Let me see if I can get Mel. If she wants to do horoscopes, we'll do horoscopes while we wait. But if not, we're gonna end in a bet. Should I miss anything? Make sure I didn't miss anything. No, we're good. We're good. What's happening over here on the YouTube side? Exit Stormfront and none should be supporting Elon. I disagree with that. While I don't care for the platform, and I only have, like I said, my little burner account for certain news, I wouldn't say, like, I remember when this whole campaign started, we should all get off of X. And I'm like, no, I don't necessarily think we should, because X is still a great platform for news. It's also equally good for misinformation, but it is a great platform for breaking news. A lot of our congressmen, women, senators, individuals in our government will put things there first and foremost. So if you want to, one thing I think X is super good for is for following your local politicians. Your local politicians, the average one, is on X, and they're putting out vital information that you need to see. So I say, hot take, if they're not on Blue Sky, to be fair, if they're not posting to the same degree, I say every single one who wants to get more involved in politics and follow their politicians closely, hold them accountable, you should have an X account. That's what I would say. If they don't have Blue Sky or some other social media platform that they utilize to the exact same degree, you should be having that account. Because you need to know. You need to know what's happening. I'm here in Texas. I have my account where I'm looking up all the things that Jasmine Crockett puts out on a daily basis. And she puts out a lot on all her platforms, but X is really good for that. I'm pretty sure Jasmine Crockett's on Blue Sky. So it's all about frequency for me. If you can get away with just having the Blue Sky, then fuck X. But you know what I'm trying to say at this point. I have a hatred and bias against Zuckerberg and Elon. It's obvious. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, fuck them both. Yes, we know. Fuck them both. 6,000%. But the platform that they built is more than just who they are as people. I have very hot takes on that. Like folks who go, oh, cancel this platform. Like, then what? Then what? Do you have a YouTube page? Yes, literally. I was mentioning that earlier. Hector Talks with 2 R's. The link is available in the bio. Better yet, search the exact same username you see here. Exact same platform. Exact same platform. What the heck is Blue Sky? So Blue Sky is left Twitter. Blue Sky is leftist Twitter. Basically, Blue Sky is leftist Twitter. And Republicans are trying to make their way on there too. But Blue Sky is, if I'm not mistaken, the initial developers and stuff of X, when Elon Musk bought it, they quit, left, or were fired, left, and they created Blue Sky. It's blown up quite a bit. I don't know if you can live stream on there or do anything like that, because the last time I was on it was like mid last year before I deleted it, because I just didn't use it. But yeah, Blue Sky is leftist Twitter. If they can have a Parler, we can have a Blue Sky. Yeah, absolutely. They can have a Truth Social, we can have a Blue Sky. 6,000%. It's open source too. W's in the chat to you guys for hitting 400K likes. So now I'm going to finish by saying this. With that type of tapping energy, and the fact that we've been live for 3 hours and 21 minutes, we should have been well over 500K. That just showed that you guys have been playing me this entire time. During Black History Month, mind you. During Black History Month, mind you. That's crazy. That's crazy. Are y'all serious? Right in front of my Black History Month? That's just disrespectful. So now I'm going to direct you guys towards the links in the bio where you will be paying me my reparations for playing me on Black History Month. Links in the bio to pay your daily reparations during Black History Month. Y'all can go back to hating black people after February. I don't think Mel is here. I don't think Mel is here. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. No one else is calling and requesting up. Not Noel. W's in the chat to Noel. W's in the chat to Noel. Noel said, all right, here you go. My bad. W's in the chat to you, America. W's in the chat to Ann for the hat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Why do y'all entertain my bullshit? Why do y'all entertain my bullshit? I be watching my old streams back and stuff, and I be listening to myself talk sometimes. I'm like, I'm full of shit, bro. Why do people listen to me? Why do people do this? Why do people do this? I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the gifts. All right, we're gonna find out who we're gonna raid. Let's see who's live. Let's see who is live. Brett is live, and we haven't done a Brett raid in a while. I kind of want to support a black creator. So typically, I try to raid black creators who don't quite have the views and following that I do, but everyone that I'm seeing here is like bigger people. Here's Mermaid, here's Jaden, Peaches. Okay, you know, it's perfectly fine to raid white accomplices. Perfectly fine to raid white accomplices. I think we're gonna do a Brett raid. Also, Brett shaves his face again and he looks fucking strange. I said it. He's been shaving his face to do like skits, and the skits are funny, but oh my god, he looks I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he would do this to himself. It's crazy. Dramatic, I think that's how you say your name. We've been live for going on 3.5 hours. And literally for basically the last hour, there's been no Trump supporters. Might have scared them off earlier. I don't know. So no, we will not be staying on. If we get a call or one guest really quickly, sure. But no, I'm not sitting up anymore. I've run my course. Let me put this up on the screen here. There we go. Did he change his username? He sure did. Because he used to be Cross333, but he changed his username. Yes, I've been on long. Honestly, I've been going live too long the last couple of streams. If you check out the few on YouTube, we're talking 4 or 5 hours, and my limit really should be 3. I gotta go see if I can edit up a quick fun and facts. Oh, yes! Guys, the fun and facts show that I do with Erica will be returning tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. CST. We'll be back with the fun and facts show. Ton of news to go over, ton of good stuff. So make sure that you're tuning in at that time. We're gonna have a lot of good stuff for you. Fun and facts show tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. CST. So I gotta go see if I can find a quick clip that I can edit up on that. If not, I'll do it in the morning. But we're gonna go ahead and give Brett Cross a raid. Cross 0524 or Brett Cross 0524. Mel is here. I already put the raid thing up. God damn it. Another time, Mel. God damn it. Another time. I already put his thing up. We're going to raid Brett Cross. I'm not sure if he's live on YouTube. Let me see. If he's live on YouTube. He may not be dual streaming this one. Yeah, he's not live. All right, YouTube, I was going to redirect you, but he's not live. So go find a creator that you can support who's doing the good work. I'm not sure who's live right now, so just go do it. Hector, did you check DM on Discord? No. I just woke up. Oh, that's okay, Mel. That's okay. We'll do it another time. W's in the chat to Bugsby for the $5 Cash App. Here, Hector, damn, Black History Month reparations. Guys, when I say Black History Month reparations, it shouldn't be paid by black people. It's counterproductive. It's counterproductive. What are we doing? Thank you so much, Bugsby. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to go ahead and raid Brett Cross 0524. When you go in there, make sure you say Hector Raid. Do it for one of 2 reasons. 1, let them know the love and support is coming from me. And 2, to stroke my ego. Hector Raid, Brett Cross 0524. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the stream. Deuces. I should end YouTube first. Why do I do this? Brett Cross. Go to Brett Cross. Oh, move that. TubeSide, thank you guys so much for being here. What a stream. What a stream and what interesting guests. I should clip that. Guy who said I'm going to be racist depending on how someone talks to me. A guy who wants firefighters to be a subscription service. I don't even remember the first guy. What was his argument again? The first guy? Oh, that Trump actually had a plan for reducing the national debt despite adding the most of it to the national debt. That was interesting. Any case, W's to y'all for being here. I appreciate all y'all's love and support. I will catch y'all in tomorrow's stream. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out, subscribe, and turn on notifications.